Stand up, New York Giant fans. I know you guys are pumped up. What's going on, Dre? Man, thanks for popping in. What's going on, Sports Influencer? What's going on, Amazing Guy? Of course, I saw Bill in here, Papa Gooch in here, Andrew Christopher. Hola, I-L-O. What's going on, J.R. Wood? What's going on, Daniel? Daniel, what's going on, Optimus? Thank you to everybody for being here. Afghanistan, of course, in the chat. One of the OGs, always active. Thank you so much for being here. Johnny. Guys, we've waited long enough. We've waited long enough, okay? It's been, what was our last game, in January? We've waited damn near, 8 months, whatever it's been. I didn't specialize in math. It's been a long time. Whatever it's been, we've waited long enough for football to be back. And on Thursday, in 2 short days, the NFL's back. But on Sunday at 8 p.m., what we're all been waiting for, the main event, the New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys, Sunday Night Football to open up the season will be underway. And I was at work today, and I said, I got to go live today. I got to talk about this football team. I'll talk briefly about some of the news yesterday with Daniel Jones. I was going to make a video on it. It's minor stuff, but I think it does show a little bit more confidence in Daniel Jones going forward with the way that they handle his contract. The injury report came out today. Nothing of note for the Giants. Everybody seems like they're ready to go. Cordell Flott's, I think Cordell Flott and I think the rookie safety, what's his name? I can't remember it off the top of my head. The 6th-round pick. He didn't play today either. But other than that, it was a full bill of health. Looks like the New York Giants are going to be ready to go. Looks like the same for the Cowboys. I know Smith was banged up, the lineman, but from all reports, Jerry Jones has said that he looks like he's going to be ready to play. So for the most part, I think you're going to see Owens, by the way, the safety. For the most part, I think you're going to see 2 healthy teams going at it. Week number 1, New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't know about everybody in the chat. I am sick and tired of hearing about how Dak Prescott is 10-0 the last 10 times he's played this New York Giants football team. I'm sick of it. I want to put a stop to it. Last year going into the season, all I heard about going into the season, New York Giants haven't been above 500 since 2016. Well, last year, we didn't spend a day under 500. I want to put a stop to it. Brian Daboll changed trends last year. Now it's time for Brian Daboll and the New York Giants to change trends from within this division. I am so sick and tired about hearing how that mediocre quarterback who's been granted the golden spoon since he's entered the NFL has been able to stomp on the New York Giants, just like every other quarterback in the NFL. Well, guess what? We're no longer a team to stomp on. New York Giants improved massively last year. We got one of the best coaching staffs in the NFL, and I think this team is going to be ready to go Sunday Night Football, and it's time to put an end to Dak Prescott's reign over the New York Giants. I fully believe, and I've thought this now for 4 or 5 months, that the New York Giants are going to win on Sunday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. Biggest reason why? I believe in our coaching staff, and when you give Brian Daboll, when you give Wink Martindale, and when you give Mike Kafka 2 months to prepare for this game, I'll take my chances every single time. I think New York Giants are going to win this football game. I really believe that in my heart of hearts. I think they're going to win this football game. I don't care what Vegas says. I don't care that we're getting 3.5 points. I think New York Giants are going to go out there and we're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys. I don't got to hear any more about how we can't perform on primetime, how we can't beat Dak Prescott. It's time for a change. It's time for the New York Giants to stand up and start out 1-0. I feel confident going into this football game. What's going on, everybody, man? Thanks for popping to the stream. Big Moose says, can't wait for Sunday night. You and me both. Can't wait, my man. It's gonna be a blast. Diego says, let's go, Chris. Can't wait for Banks' first interception. We'll see, man. You know that they're going to test him, right? That's one thing, obviously, you got to be worried about going into this game. It was announced today that Trey Hawkins is going to be starting on the exterior. Adoree is going to be starting in the slot. At least that's the way that the depth chart breaks out going into this game. So the 2 rookies are going to be starting on the outside against the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb's going to be in the middle, obviously at the slot. More often than not, that's where he got the majority of his reps last year. So the Giants are going to put Adoree on CeeDee in the slot. They're probably going to put Banks on Cooks, and then you're going to have Gallup paired up on Trey Hawkins. And we'll see what they do to combat Tony Pollard, who's also a threat coming out of the backfield. Maybe you spy him with a guy like Simmons or perhaps McKinney, because you definitely got to worry about Pollard, not just as a runner, but also as a pass catcher. He's definitely a dual threat running back. So another thing you got to worry about. But at the end of the day, we all watched the games last year. Every single one of us watched the games last year. And the Cowboy-Giants game specifically, more so than any other games that we played last year, what stood out to me was the trenches. That was the biggest determining factor in why we lost those games last year to the Dallas Cowboys. We couldn't get after their quarterback, and they couldn't stop getting after ours. Daniel Jones was pressured 24 times the first time we went up against the Dallas Cowboys last year. 24 times. That was the second highest total, I believe, since 2017. Evan Neal looked like a revolving door. That can't happen on Sunday. We know that. Second time around, Andrew Thomas, although he was sick, and although Andrew Thomas is the man, and I love him to death, he did have the flu. Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal combined surrendered 11 pressures by themselves the second time around that we faced the Dallas Cowboys. In the two games combined, the New York Giants had a total of 0 sacks. 0. The last year when we played the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys had a combined 8 sacks against the New York Giants. Can't happen. Got to be stronger in the trenches if we're going to win this game. And Joe Shane spent all offseason trying to improve that. Got a lot more depth on the defensive line. You figure Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be better. You got a healthy Azeez Ojulari. Now you got a chess piece with Isaiah Simmons. We improved the interior, in terms of the inside linebacker with Bobby Okereke. We get a rookie center. You figure Evan Neal is going to take a step up. We'll see how we stack up in the trenches. That is what's going to determine this football game. I'm not saying we have to outmatch them, but we can't get obliterated. We cannot get destroyed against their pass rush. We know Micah Parsons is a dog. We know Tank Lawrence is a dog. We know they're going to try to exploit Evan Neal, and we'll see how the New York Giants try to combat that, but they cannot get destroyed like they did last year in the trenches. I don't think they're going to. True Atlas says, hot take, I'd rather lose to a healthy team than beat a heavily dinged up one. Glad Dallas is healthy. Let's crush it full power. Let's roll. I'm ready to roll, man. Nelly says, Tane, I'm so pumped for Sunday night. We need to get this W and shut the media up about us not beating the Cowgirls, especially Michael Irvin. I'm sick of it. Like I said at the top of the stream, I'm sick of it. I want to put an end to it. I'm sick of being bullied. I'm sick of being bossed around, by the Eagles, by the Cowboys. This is our chance. This is our chance to set the tone early on, to instill confidence, not just in this fan base, but in this football team. If the New York Giants are able to go out there and beat the Dallas Cowboys week 1, this team's going to really start to believe in themselves that they could truly compete from within this division. Everything sets up well for them in terms of the scheduling, in my opinion. I think we have the better coaching staff, more time to prepare week 1. They have a changing of the guard in terms of the offensive play call. We have our whole staff coming back. We're at home. I just like the way that it sets up for the New York Giants. I think we're going to take advantage of it. John says, Chris, you will beat the Cowboys and all the Eagles fans will be standing up with you. Are you upset the Eagles and Giants play late this year? No, it doesn't bother me. One way or the other, we got to play the Eagles. Doesn't bother me. I'll worry about the Eagles when we get there. We got about, 14 opponents to worry about before we get to the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'll worry about that when we get there. We're going to look different by then. The Eagles are going to look different by then. Giants got to take care of business early on, so those games mean something later in the season. But who knows? I mean, by the time we play the Eagles, whatever it is, week 14, week 15, for all we know, Kelsey could be hurt. For all we know, Evan Neal could be hurt. We don't know. So the teams could look completely different by the time we get there. I'll think about the Eagles when we get closer. Kelvin says, are you tailgating with Giants? No, not. I mean, when I do go to a Giants game this year, I'll be sure to do it, but I'm not going to opening night. Charlie says, any recent injury concerns? Can't wait for Sunday. No, from what I heard today, at least according to Jordan Renan, everybody for the most part in terms of the starters, it's a clean bill of health. If there was a minor question about who's going to start at guard, it came out that Bredesen will be starting. Azudu will be coming off the bench. The only question remains there, is Azudu going to be, I guess, supplemented in throughout the game? Are they going to have a little bit of a rotating door? I don't think that will happen. I know there were times last year where the New York Giants did that. But yeah, outside of that, it seems like all the starters are full go, ready to go. Week number 1 against the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, Jones and the boys are ready to go. So seems like for the most part, everybody's healthy on both sides of the bowl. Don't expect to be for Dallas to be too banged up either. Patrick says, how many sacks and turnovers is our D going to get? I don't know. I don't know how many sacks we're going to get, but they better get a lot of pressures, and hopefully they can create some turnover opportunities. That's the key to this game for me, is getting them into third and long situations, making Dak have to throw the football, making them more predictable, and that's when Wink could have some fun. That's when Wink could dial up the blitz. That's when, you could confuse Dak a bit, right? So that, to me, is the key to this football game, stopping the run, something we were not very good at last year. Obviously, we think we're going to be much improved in that area, but the proof's in the pudding. We'll see how we do week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys. We know Dallas has a strong offensive line, so it's definitely going to be a test. But we were able to create turnovers against them last year. We just couldn't capitalize on it. The offense couldn't do anything the second time we played Dallas later in the year. So we'll see. Both sides of the ball have to come and play. But yeah, do I think there'll be opportunity for turnovers? Absolutely. Dak led the league in interceptions last year. Why wouldn't I believe that we could create some turnovers? I think Dallas is going to be more balanced this year. I've thought that now for months. With the fact that McCarthy's the head coach, I don't think they'll be quite as pass happy as they've been in the past. When they had Kellen Moore as the offensive play caller, he's a guy that I thought was a little over the top in terms of passing the ball at times. Of course, he's an innovative play caller, but I think Dallas gets back to their roots. They become a bit more balanced. They're going to try to pound the rock. and hopefully that plays into what we hope is the strength of the New York Giants defense. I think they'll play a bend but don't break approach. They're not going to try to give up big plays going into the game with rookie corners on the outside. So expect some zone. I know a lot of people get frustrated with that, but expect some zone and expect the Giants to try to tidy it up inside the 20-yard line. At the end of the day, you know, you got two rookies, Deonte Banks and Trey Hawkins, going up against some veteran wide receivers. So that's something that you got to be concerned with going into this game. And we'll see if the New York Giants could stand strong inside the 20, holding the threes more often than not, and hopefully create some turnovers, like you said. Jay says, what's the content schedule for the week? Let's go. Yeah, so I figured I'd go live today. I'm going to be live tomorrow on Patricia Trainer's channel. Thursday, I'm going to be live streaming the opening night game, like I said in my last live stream. Just for fun, hang out. We'll talk about the Giants. Obviously, talk about opening night, Thursday Night Football, Chiefs, Lions. But obviously, we'll be speaking to Giants in the background. Friday, we're going to be doing the Talk of Giants show on Bad Dogs channel. And Saturday, I'm going to be doing a new weekly show this year with a content creator I love, JD Sports Talk. He's been on the channel before. Of course, he works with Knicks Fan TV. He's a great guy. We're going to hopefully be doing a weekly pre-game show the night before the game every single Saturday or Sunday if the game falls on a Monday. So that's the plan right now. And yeah, we'll be live the night before opening night on Saturday. And then, of course, Sunday we'll be live for the game. Maybe do a post-game, hopefully celebratory stream as well as we get ready for week number 2 against the Arizona Cardinals. But yeah, probably have a record prediction video up later in the week as well. May do a preview video. We'll see. But yeah, going to be busy. Definitely going to be busy in the coming days. I can't wait for this game to get started. And Bill, thank you so much, man. He says, pressure on Dak is the key to the game. I have more confidence in our O-line to give DJ some time. Yeah, I think a lot of people, and obviously, Bill, that's a huge key in this game is the offensive line. That goes without saying, based off of last year, based off the way that we saw Evan Neal perform last year against Tank Lawrence. But I think not enough people are talking about the other side of the ball. The Dallas Cowboys were not pressured at all last year. I know in the second game, Kayvon played well. He did get pressures, but overall, we didn't get enough pressure on the Dallas Cowboys, especially in the first game that we played them last year. So yeah, to me, that's not being talked about quite enough, especially when you factor in that we have rookie corners on the outside. You have to be able to win up front. You have to be able to get pressure with the front seven. So I'm in complete agreement. That's a major, major factor in this game. Kayvon Thibodeau has to eat. Kayvon Thibodeau has to show up. And we know that he can. We know that he hopefully will. He did it last year when the lights were bright. He played well against the Cowboys the second game. He had his greatest signature performance on Sunday Night Football against Washington in what was essentially a do-or-die game in terms of making the playoffs. He's got to show up. Azeez Ojulari, Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, those 4 guys have to eat. If we're otherwise, Dallas, if they have all day to throw, trust me, they're going to expose our rookie corner. So that's a big, big, big factor on defense going into this game. There's no doubt about it. We need Kayvon to have a signature performance, and if he does, I think we're going to get out of there with a win. Nelson. Yeah, I was going to get to that. Your thoughts on the DJ restructured contract. And, of course, when it happened, everybody's going nuts. You know, you saved, I think it was a little over $6 million on this year's cap. So everybody's going nuts. But when you looked at it, so what basically the Giants were like $5 million over when you factored in the money that had to be distributed to the practice squad. And it was only the salary cap projection that we saw was based on the 51. I think the deadline was a couple of days ago where they were going to expand to the 53. So the Giants were actually over in terms of cap space. So they had to make that move to get under the cap. Right now, they got a little over $1 million in cap space. I think Patricia Traina said that today on Twitter. But what was interesting about it to me, not that it freed up any money to get Mike Evans. You hear everybody talking about that. That's not happening. Mike Evans is 30 years old. Mike Evans wants a contract extension. That does not seem to fit the mold for Joe Schoen. I don't see that happening. But what was interesting, they chose Daniel Jones. They could have extended Graham Gano. They could have backloaded Dexter Lawrence a bit. They could have backloaded Andrew Thomas a bit. They could have extended Adoree Jackson. They could have extended Leonard Williams. But instead, they said, no, we'll commit $4 more million to the dead cap hit of Daniel Jones in 2025. So now that dead cap hit rose from 18.5 to 22.5. So now it's, now you're only saving $19 million if you cut them in 2025 if things do not go well, as opposed to what was 22 or 23. So to me, that signifies that Joe Schoen has confidence in Daniel Jones. It's not just this little experiment for a year or two, like people have said, and that they're probably going to cut him. To me, you don't commit another $4 million towards his dead cap in 2025 if you don't think this guy's going to see this contract through. So that's the way I looked at that. That was Joe Schoen putting more confidence, in my opinion, in Daniel Jones. He's a smart guy. He's not going to add dead salary to a player, that he does not think that they're going to want to further commit to in the future. So That's the way that I read that. That's the way that I took that. But of course, the proof's in the pudding. Daniel Jones will have to perform on the football field this year and in the future if he could, long term if he intends to stay with the New York Giants. But that's the way I took that. It was Joe Schoen showing more confidence in his quarterback. Yeah. Sebastian says, I don't know if you talked about it yet, but the Giants trading for Mike Evans, I just basically did. What would you do to make it possible if you want I don't want the trade. I know people have been talking about that. I know it's sexy. I know Mike Evans is one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL. You look at his numbers. The guy is over 1,000 yards every year. He's been great. He's 30. He's going to command a contract extension. Wide receivers typically start to plateau around 30, 31. I don't see that being in the cards for Joe Schoen. Darren Waller was our Mike Evans. Darren Waller was our stopgap weapon. I don't see him adding another stopgap weapon and giving up more draft capital in the process and committing more future cap space in the process as well. I don't see it. I think the New York Giants, in terms of addressing the weapons now, are going to look young. They're going to look to add a wide receiver in the draft next year. Maybe a guy like a Godwin, who's a bit younger, becomes available for the right price. I don't know. But I think if they were to make a trade, it wouldn't be for a 30-year-old going on 31-year-old wide receiver who's looking for a contract extension. You look over the course of history, more often than not, when players reach that level at the wide receiver position, it doesn't work out when they require an extension. The Julio Joneses, there's several others I could point to. So for me, I don't think it fits the time frame of this team. I don't think the New York Giants are going that route. I think they'll address the wide receiver position in the draft next year. Maybe if the right wide receiver becomes available that's young, maybe they jump on it. But I don't think Mike Evans is the guy that they'd go after. Chris B says, what if you lose an average quarterback again? Well, if we lose to an average quarterback again, it will be because you demolish us up at the point of attack like you always do. The offensive and defensive line. Every time we play the Dallas Cowboys in years past, have demolished us. That's why we can't beat you guys. So hopefully we get better in that aspect. Hopefully we're able to protect Daniel Jones a little bit, give him some time, and then I think we could come out victorious. But that's why we lose to you guys. You guys know how to build a football team. You're great in the trenches. We'll see if the New York Giants got better in that area like we all hope and think they did. But that's going to be the key focus in this game for me. Are we able to pass protect? Are we able to get after the quarterback? King Josh says, I read on Facebook one Cowgirls old lineman is hurting. Yeah, I read that too. Not on Facebook, but I read it on the injury report. But by all accounts, Tyler Smith, Jerry Jones came out today, and he said that he expects Tyler Smith, who has a hamstring injury, to suit up on Sunday versus the Giants via Todd Archer of ESPN. So to me, I expect him to play. I think he'll be a full go, and we'll take it from there. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think Tyler Smith will be out there for the Dallas Cowboys. I think he'll play. Let's see. MY Giants 26 says, who scores on Sunday Fun Day? Giants win, in my opinion. Darren Waller's getting a touchdown. If you're playing like the touchdown props, bet Darren Waller. Darren Waller's getting a touchdown. My God, this coffee's getting cold. You see how often they've been featuring Darren Waller in the one preseason drive that we saw in practice. I don't think Dallas is a guy that's going to be able to cover him one-on-one. I think Darren Waller is going to be a big focal point in this game for the New York Giants offensively. In the passing game against Dallas, in my opinion, what are the New York Giants going to do? They're going to attack the middle of the field. We all know Dallas has very good exterior corners, and their linebackers aren't incredible in coverage. So if you're the Giants, I think that's what you have to try to do. Try to attack them over the middle with quick, slot wide receivers, Darren Waller, maybe Barkley out of the backfield. Try to combat their aggressive nature in terms of when they blitz, maybe with screen passes to Barkley. That's how I think they're going to try to move the ball down the field. And if they start to carve them up that way, maybe that opens up opportunities on the outside side for the Darius Slaytons of the world. But that's how I see them attacking this defense. I think they're going to attack the middle of the field. Let's see. What's going on, Mike? Man, thanks for popping in the stream, man. And Bill, man, wondering if McCarthy play calling will help or hurt Dallas. Oh, he's old school. I think it's going to help them actually long term. I think it's better for Dallas to play more even in terms of not being too pass heavy. I think that plays more to the strength of that football team. I've thought that now for the last 2 or 3 years. But could there be a little bit of a, I don't know. Everybody says that McCarthy was there last year, but he wasn't calling the plays. So could there be a little bit of a catch me up week one? Maybe this offense isn't clicking on all cylinders. Of course, Kellen Moore's been calling the plays there for Dallas, I think, for the last 3 years or whatever it's been. So could there be a little bit of a sluggish offense early to start against the New York Giants? I wouldn't be surprised at all. New play caller. So if there is, hopefully the New York Giants can take advantage of that. Brandon Cooks has never played in this offense before. So week one, we'll see. Obviously, Zeke's no longer there, but Pollard's a force. But hopefully the New York Giants are able to take advantage of that. But yeah, I think for the year, I think it actually plays better for Dallas in terms of their offensive approach, not being super pass heavy. I think it plays better to the strengths of that football team. But I don't necessarily think McCarthy's a great head coach or a great offensive coordinator, but I think that style of play calling might play better to the strengths of that football team. Let's see. Get Barkley out. Always get Barkley out in space, man. Good luck stopping the lion, Micah Parsons. Well, listen, I am going to be really interested to see how Dallas comes out the New York Giants with Micah Parsons. Last year, especially in the first game, they lined Micah up against Andrew Thomas almost exclusively, if you recall, and Tank Lawrence obliterated Evan Neal. So we'll see. I think if they line Parsons up against Neal, I would expect the New York Giants to have extra help on that side. They'll have an extra tight end. They'll have Daniel Bellinger, Chip, whatever it may be. If they line Micah Parsons up against Andrew Thomas, that's going to be a one-on-one battle. Those guys are going to duke it out. Dable's going to say, let's put our strength against their strength. We'll add extra attention on the side for Neal. But if they put Parsons on Neal, there's going to be extra help on that side. So it'll be interesting to see. And I know that Micah Parsons last year took advantage of Thomas in the second game, but Thomas had the flu. I'm not worried about it. There's not a pass rush in the NFL that scares me with Andrew Thomas. I think Andrew Thomas is the best left tackle in football. And if he's not, he's top 2 or 3. And he's only ascending and he's only getting better. Andrew Thomas will handle himself just fine if Micah Parsons is on that side. Will he beat Thomas from time to time? Of course. He might be the best edge rusher in football. But I think Andrew Thomas could hold his own against Micah Parsons. I worry about if Micah Parsons is on the other side with Evan Neal. Then I think you have to create extra attention on that side to try to combat that. So I'm not worried about Tank Lawrence going up against Thomas. I think he'll handle him just fine. But if Parsons is on Neal, yeah, I think you need extra help. And we'll see how they go about doing it. Let's see. J. Rada says, the GOAT, what's the biggest matchup for Sunday? I mean, you could point to several areas. It really is. I think overall, just the trenches in general is the biggest matchup on both sides of the ball. It is. But outside of that, I think it's our corners versus their wide receivers in terms of what is a perceived weakness going into this game. They cannot allow big plays over the top. They cannot allow Brandon Cooks to hit on a 60-yard touchdown, right? They got to keep the ball in front of them, give them the 15 to 20 yards, make them work down the field. Get them in the third and long situations occasionally and hopefully try to create some turnover opportunities. But yeah, I think that's the biggest key for me. Don't give up big plays. Make them earn their points. Make them work when they get inside the 20. That's the biggest key for me defensively. Outside of obviously the trenches, getting pressure on the quarterback, our rookie corners cannot get overly exposed. That's a big concern for me going into the game. There's no doubt about it. Let's see. Chris B says, might put Parsons on Neal, blitz in the middle. I wouldn't be surprised. I am very intrigued by how Dallas plans to use Micah Parsons in this game. Are they going to line him up on Neal? Are they going to line him up on Thomas? If I was Dallas, I would blitz the hell out of the middle. You got a rookie center in John Michael Schmitz. You got 2 guards who are, mediocre at best, with obviously Ben Bredesen and Glowinski. I would blitz the hell out of the middle. I would probably line Micah Parsons up on Thomas, personally, because I figure if you put Parsons on Neal, they're going to double and triple team him. But, of course, that'll open up opportunities to the middle as well. So, I don't know. We'll see what they do with Micah Parsons. But I do think there'll be extra attention gravitated towards him if they line him up on Evan Neal. But if I was Dallas, my game plan going into that game is blitz the hell out of the middle. Test that rookie center. Test the guards. And I expect them to probably keep Barkley in to pass protect a lot in this game. Do not expect the New York Giants to go out and be super pass heavy in this game. They can't do it. I know fans want to see it. We're going to throw at times. But against this defense, the Dallas Cowboys last year, I think we're number 1 in the NFL in pressure percentage. They have one of, if not the best, pass rush in the NFL. I mean, one of. They got improved corners. This is a very good defense with an aggressive play caller. So is there going to be a time here or there where maybe the Giants could pick their shot and try to hit a shot deep? Sure. But expect a lot of 12 personnel. Expect Barkley to stay in and chip and help pass protect, because if they don't, things can get ugly. So the Giants are going to have to pick and choose where they take their shots, but don't expect this team to come out high flying like the Kansas City Chiefs week 1 going up against this Dallas Cowboys offense. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And Sit Bones, thank you for being a member. He says, stand up, buzzing for Sunday. Let's go. Big Joe Chestnut says, I've been watching these games since before the Cowboys in the early 90s. Cowboys fans are loud when the team is good, but you will vanish when the team stinks. Biggest fair weather fan base. I ain't going to say nothing about the fan base. I'm not going to pick on Cowboys fans, but let's be honest. They're the worst fan base in all sports. I just went muted. One of the Cowboys fans muted me. But let's be honest. If you're being honest with yourself, you're a Cowboys fan. Let me just make sure I get this to go. You guys are the worst fan base in all sports. You guys are the worst fan base in all sports. Let's see what we got. Let me go to the audio. Here we go. Fix it to the better mic. What's up, Side Guy, man? Thanks for popping to the stream, man. What's up, CD, man? Thanks for popping to the stream, buddy. If we can't get pressure, the Cowboys wide receivers may eat against our rooks. Of course. That's why more so in this game, I think, than almost most others, this is a really important game to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. Their first game is rookie corners going up against a veteran quarterback, going up against solid wide receivers. Yeah, we have to be able to get pressure up front. And let's see. Chris B says 5'5" Deuce Vaughn going to be the next little squirt. What's going on? Andrew Marchese, man. Thanks for popping in. Don't even get me started on Deuce Vaughn. I am scared to death of him. I already know he's going to be Boston Scott. I already know he's going to be the Boston Scott of the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to be that annoying little squirt that picks up, when it's 3rd and 7, he's going to catch that crossing pattern over in the middle, and he's going to squirt his way to 9 yards. I already know that's what he's going to do. I'm going to be banging my head against the wall with him for the next 5, 6, 7 years. I already know that. Don't even get me started with him. Let's see. Looking forward to this matchup. Let's go. Which fan is more degenerate, Dallas fans or New York Giants on Sunday Night Football? Be out of their minds. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kidding. I mean, well, I'm not really kidding. I don't love Dallas fans, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to poke the bear a little bit. I will say though, there's a lot of front running Dallas Cowboys fans. It just comes with the territory. When you're as popular as they are, when they were as good as they were when I grew up, you had a lot of fans where I live in New York that were Dallas Cowboys fans. They're just popular, so that just comes with the territory. It's like the Yankees, same thing. Stephen Lilly, thank you for being a member for 44 months. Hiya, bud. Only worry I got is can Dallas get old man Rodgers' wheelchair back for him after all the sacks Dak takes and is wheeled out. Let's go, Giants. Let's go, Lilly, man. Thanks for popping in. Listen, hopefully we get after Dak. I saw a guy on Twitter today or yesterday say that Dallas plays their final preseason game this week, and their first regular season game is against the New York Jets. The disrespect, man. What's going on, Richard Judge, man? Thanks for popping in. Mick says, did you pick up any? No, but I will. The next jersey I'm getting is Dexter Lawrence. I'll probably get that in a week or two. But yeah, that's the next jersey I'm getting. Let's see. Implement a salary cap at Dallas. Yeah. Exactly. Implement a salary cap and Dallas explodes. Bring DVDs to the world and Dallas. Last time you can see a Dallas Super Bowl, you got to get it on VHS. Chris B says the Cowboys have the most fair weather fan base. The Eagles have the most annoying fan base. Both are worse than Yankee fans. Oh, no doubt about it. Eagles fans, their IQ. I mean, let's be real. Philadelphia Eagles fans, when they win a Super Bowl, they celebrate by eating horse shit. What does that tell you about their fan base? They're not the smartest. They're not the smartest, the sharpest tools in the shed, as they say. So, yeah, I agree with you on that. As far as the Cowboys, yeah, they're definitely fair weather. I'm not going to lie about that. Let's go. Wampach says, I went to a Yankees, Rangers, Giants, Cowboys game on the same day in Dallas. There were a lot of Yankees, Cowboys fans. Yeah, I could see that. Amazing Guy says, Giants fans have to be loud at MetLife Stadium. Well, what's up, Stephen, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. What's up, Nona, man? Thanks for popping in. If you're a Lakers Cowboys fan, you're 99. What's up, Afghanistan? I'm just excited, man. I had to go live, hang out with you guys at least for, an hour and a half, 2 hours today. Talk about the game. Obviously, we're going to get a lot more in-depth probably on Friday with Bad Dog, Saturday with JD, and obviously Sunday leading up into the game. It's a big week. We'll get more news leading up into the game in terms of the injury report. It looks to me like it's going to be a clean bill of health, though. It doesn't look like there's any hints towards the Giants having to sit any of their key players, and it looks like the same thing for the Dallas Cowboys. Blue-outs, yeah, I saw that they're going to – I think it's the first, I want to say 25,000 fans. They're going to be handing out a T-shirt before the start of the game. What's up, Mets, man? Thanks for popping in. He says, does your show also go live on Wednesday nights like the San Francisco matchup of week 3? I'm not going live Wednesday. Well, I'm going live on Patricia Traina's channel tomorrow, but I won't be live on this channel. ECK says Yankees Cowboys fans are like the. I'm not gonna troll on Yankees fans. Zach says, "What's up, man?" He says, "Gotta love the shit. First week of the season. Can't wait to see our defense with these corners." Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how we hold up on both sides of the ball. We'll see how we hold up. Obviously, we got a lot of question marks, but I also think we got a lot of things to be excited about. How do you not go into this year excited if you're a Giants fan? Based off the performance last year by this coaching staff, the improvement at the linebacker position, what you think will be inevitable growth between Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal, the added weaponry headed by Darren Waller, Daniel Jones' second year in the offense. Look at quarterbacks historically speaking. So look at Jalen Hurts last year. Look at the jump that he took in second year with the Philadelphia Eagles. Look at Jared Goff, second year with the Detroit Lions. Historically speaking, second year in an offense, you're going to have a jump. So I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited. Obviously, we know we have a challenging schedule. But, hey, I look at our schedule. I recognize there's clearly a lot of challenging games. The Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets look good. Obviously, the games from within the division are all going to be challenging. We get that. But I look at the Cardinals. I look at the Raiders. I look at the Patriots. I look at the Packers with Jordan Love coming off a bye at home. And there's the Rams. The Rams aren't going to be good. They traded away a lot of their players. There's at least 5 or 6 games that I look at. I'm like, yeah, we should win that game. And then I look at a bunch of other games and be like, it's kind of close. It's 50-50. I think there's a clear path to 9 or 10 wins this year for the New York Giants, regardless of how hard people are saying that the schedule is. And the NFL is such a week-to-week league. You don't know. You don't know what these teams are going to look like 4 or 5 weeks down the line. And Irish says, Cowboy fans are like roaches. They're all over the place. When they win, they're bold. But when they lose, they run under the stove with the lights. Daniel Bear, I actually got an email from Bleacher Report today, Cole. I just saw it right before on live. I was working all day. So I will give you guys details probably as soon as Thursday is when that is going to be. But it's going to be directly after the game. And then I'll probably go live on my channel after that because it's going to be quick. It's only going to be like a half hour, 40 minutes. On Bleacher Report. What's up, Daniel Berry, man? Thanks for popping in. British Gridiron says, get Sexy Dexy on back, not Lawrence, because when he crushes Dak Sunday night, it will be for a couple of sacks. That's what it will be. I sure hope so, man. I want to see Dak show up in a big way. I really do. I think he's going to have a big game. I really do. But, hey, Dex has to show up. He got that massive contract. He was great last year. We know Dallas has a good offensive line. We'll see how he does. I think Dex is in for an even better year. I really do. With the improved depth on this defensive line, with the added attention of Azeez Ojulari, with what I think will be an improved Kayvon Thibodeau, with what we hope will be a healthy Leonard Williams all year, I think that only helps Dexter Lawrence. I think he's going to be more rested to close out these games. I think Dexter Lawrence is in for a massive year. We saw him in the preseason games when we got the opportunity in the practice. This guy is bullying people up at the line of scrimmage. I think he's going to be fantastic this year. Let's go. What's up, Hector? He says, salute to you and your fan base. Good luck to your team this season. Should be a good competitive division. And yes, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Hey, Hector, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all good. It's all fun. The trash talk before the game. I think most Giant fans know going into the game, you guys are a good team. We haven't beat you in forever. And I think we're all excited and anxious to see if we could finally break the trend. I think we're going to, but we'll see on Sunday night. I'm looking forward to it. I think this division this year is going to be ultra competitive. The NFC East. I think every team is going to be between 7 and I'll say 11 wins. We all play a really challenging schedule. We all play the AFC East, which is a loaded division. We all play the NFC West, which of course has the 49ers and the Seahawks. The Eagles play a first-place schedule. Cowboys play a second-place schedule. So we're all playing a really tough schedule this year. I think we're going to beat up on one another. I think all 4 teams are going to be pretty competitive. I don't think anybody's running away with this division. I really don't. I think it's going to go down to the last couple of weeks. I really do. Let's see. What's going on, Beantown Bobby, man? Good to see you, man. He says, I might be. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Maybe I'll meet you in there. McCann, what's going on, man? John says, if you're a dire Giant, yeah, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell. I don't think our trenches are much improved, if you want me to be honest. I think our defensive line is. I definitely think our defensive line is much improved. Our offensive line, that remains to be seen. It does. It remains to be seen. It's the biggest question mark going into the year. I think our offensive line is improved, but I don't know how improved they are. They're far from a finished product. The big key to the offensive line this year is Evan Neal at the end of the day. If Evan Neal can become a good right tackle this year, that's going to help everybody else. Then you can stick him out on an island. You can put Andrew Thomas on an island, and you can have the guys in the middle help one another. But if you need extra help for Evan Neal, well, that's going to allow the mediocre interior offensive line, part of the offensive line, to get exposed when we go up against these teams. So the O-line is a massive question mark going into the year, as it is every single year. I think there's reason for hope and optimism that they will be improved, because you have to figure Evan Neal is going to be better. He can't be much worse. And he clearly had a lot of talent coming into the NFL. We clearly have a very good coaching staff. I think he's going to be better. The question is how much better. And we'll see. JMS is a rookie. I'm excited for him. I think he's going to end up being a good center for this team for a long time, but he's a rookie. So we'll see. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of question marks going into the year. The offensive line is still far from complete. If you told me going into the year that the Giants are going to have a top 20 offensive line, I'd probably sign up for it. We haven't been close to that in years past. So if you told me we were going to be close to league average, I'd sign up for it. Stephen Lilly says, before the season starts, Super Bowl predictions, number 56 gold. I mean, I can't pick against Pat Mahomes. I just can't do it. Like if I had to pick somebody in the AFC, I don't know. I'm not picking the Bills. I'm down on the Bills this year. I really am. I think Buffalo will probably make the playoffs, but I'm not picking the Bills. Yeah, I think KC. KC's my pick. Some people may pick the Chargers, obviously, with the what they think will be the improved offensive coaching staff, and everybody seems to be in love with Justin Herbert and his long hair. The guy's never won a playoff game. He's got talent. He may end up being one of the greatest of all time, but pump the brakes a little bit. Trevor Lawrence plays in a weak division. Maybe they could get themselves to a high record, win 12 or 13 games, get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. That's certainly on the table. But in the end, do I think Trevor Lawrence will go to a Super Bowl this year? No, I don't. I don't think he's beating Pat Mahomes. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers, all the talk over there. But I'm picking the Chiefs. I am. I'm picking the Chiefs out of the AFC. I know it's chalk. I know it's boring, but hey, I'm not picking against Pat Mahomes, and I'm not picking against Andy Reid. NFC, I'm not picking the Eagles. I'm not doing it. And I'm not going to jinx the Giants. I'm not going to, everybody, you're a homer. I'm not doing that. I'm not picking the Giants. Dallas Cowboys couldn't sniff a Super Bowl if it was right in front of their nose. So I'm not picking them. Haven't been to a Super Bowl since 1997. I'm going to pick the Niners. I know I picked the Niners last year. I'm going to pick the Niners again. I'm going to go Niners Chiefs. I think that's the exact Super Bowl I picked at the start of last year. I was pretty close. Niners got knocked off in the NFC Championship game because obviously Purdy got hurt. Would have been more competitive. But I'm going to go Niners, and I'm going to go Chiefs. And Thomas says, if the Giants score 24 plus, the chances are great we will win. No field goals, win this game. I agree. If the Giants score 24 plus points, I think we're going to win this game. I think that's right around where they need to get to if we're going to win this game. Mid-20s. Now, of course, who knows? Maybe it becomes a shootout. I don't think that's going to be the Giants' intentions going into this game. If the Giants are able to play a balanced approach, not turn the football over or limit turnovers, yeah, I think 24 points wins this game. Now, if it becomes a shootout and we're playing from behind, different story. And then maybe we lose 37-24. But if the Giants play their game and they're balanced, I agree. I think 24 points can get this. I think we get a win with 24 points. 23-24, that's where I have it. If the Giants are going to win this game, 23-20, 24-21, in that area. I think it's going to be close. This game will be within 3 points either way. I really believe that. I think it's going to be a very close game. Let's see. Brock Purdy won't last the whole season. We'll see. I mean, I'm not the biggest Brock Purdy fan, but I'm a big fan of that 49ers team and the way that they're built. Let's see. Hyatt goes for 3 touchdowns. Let's go. I don't know if Hyatt's going to get the opportunity, Eric. He's a rookie. We'll see. Dallas Cowboys, 41 points. Look at this guy. This guy's coming in. He's talking all this smack. Devin's ready to go. He's telling me Dallas is going to put up 41 points. Okay. We'll see you out there on Sunday night, my man. We'll see you out there on Sunday night. Mike says, look at Jimmy G. He got traded after his failure. What are you talking about, the 49ers? Got tickets to opening day, super hyped. You have a good time, man. CD says it's probably going to be a defensive game. I think there's going to be some offense. There's going to be some big plays, but I don't expect the game to be a shootout. I don't think the Giants are going to get out of their comfort zone, which to me, especially going up against a team like Dallas, I think there's going to be times this year where we really do truly open up this offense. But going up against what is thought to be a top 5 offense in the NFL, or damn near close to a top 5 defense, I should say, in the NFL, Giants are not going to spread their wings and become this super pass happy team. I think they'll be somewhat balanced. I think they're going to try to run the ball. I expect Daniel Jones's legs to be a factor in this game for sure. Expect Daniel Jones to put his body on the line and pick up some key third down conversion. This friggin' wire was supposed to come here 2 days ago. It still hasn't come here. But it should be here soon. Let's see. What's going on, John, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. What's going on, buddy? Let's see. Giants will open it up 20+ even with the Dallas D. You think it's 27-21 or 27-24? What's the over? I haven't even looked. What's the over under on the game? I know the Giants are. Let me guess the over under. I know it's a 3.5 point spread. Dallas is favored by 3.5. I'm going to say the over under is 45.5. That would be my guess. 45.5 for the over under, and I know Dallas is favored by 3.5. What's the over under? Let's see. Waller over 100 yards receiving. Barkley 100. I sure hope so. Jason says, I know it's only one game and doesn't define the season, but we need to beat Dallas Sunday. Tired of being Dallas's doormat. Let's make a statement, G-Men. I'm with you, man. I said at the top of the stream, I've been thinking about this game all offseason, week number 1 against the Dallas Cowboys. I think it sets up well for us in terms of the way that the schedule played out. The most important thing for me this season for the New York Giants is how we perform from within the division. Last year, as fun as it was, as much growth as we showed, this team still struggled from within the division. We went 1-4-1 in the regular season, 1-5-1 if you include the postseason, and the games weren't particularly close. We got destroyed against the Eagles in the one real regular season game. I don't count the last one. It was backups. I know the Eagles played their starters, but it was watered down. I don't buy into that. So the one real time we played the Eagles in the regular season, they stomped us. In the playoffs, they stomped us. The Dallas Cowboys, even though the scores looked relatively close, the games weren't very close. They pressured Daniel Jones 24 times. Daniel Jones had to play out of his mind to keep that game within 7 points. And then the last game, we were down 14. I think we scored a garbage time touchdown with like 20 seconds left. And then we had a prayer to recover an onside kick. Both times, they manhandled us up at the point of attack. I need to see growth this year. I need to see this team compete better from within the division. That's the biggest key for me this year. And it starts week 1. Let's see. Thomas says, John Madden simulation game played already. Result, Giants 37, Cowboys 30. I'm surprised because aren't the guys who do the Madden game, aren't they all Cowboys fans? So I'm a little bit surprised by that. But I do not think it'll be that high scoring. I'd be surprised if it was that high scoring. Yeah, but hey, I've been wrong before. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I don't think it'll be in the 30s. Let's see. Anthony says we got to take 4 out of 6 division games this year and make the playoffs, no problem. I think 3 will be okay. I think we can make the playoffs. Obviously, I'd love to take 4. But I think 3 would get us in. If we go 3-3, I look at the rest of our schedule. I say, all right, I think it's reasonable to think we could split in the AFC East, whether it be win one of the 3 games against the Bills, Jets, or Dolphins, and then beat the Patriots. I think it's reasonable to think that. So that gets you to 5-5. I think in the NFC West, it's reasonable to think we could get at least a split. I think we should beat the Rams. I think we should beat the Cardinals. And I think there's a good chance we'll beat the Seahawks, being that they're traveling here. But be conservative and say we're 7-7 after that. And then you look at the rest of our schedule. The Raiders, I think we should beat. That gets you to 8. The Packers, I think we should beat. That gets you to 9. I think 9 wins get you in the playoffs in the NFC. It's not a particularly strong conference. Jason says, I'll be at the game Sunday night and think this may have playoff energy. Not may, it will have playoff energy. Hopefully my fellow Giants fans bring our A game and make it. The Giants have not played a bigger opening game in at least 10 years. It's been that long. Giants, Cowboys coming up a playoff season. The way that we performed from within the division last year, home, Giants have not played a bigger opening game in a very long time. And this is the type of game they could completely propel your season if you're able to win it. It would instill so much confidence into this team. All of a sudden, you say to yourself, well, we got one division game in our back pocket. We can win 2 more. We're sitting pretty. You go 3-3 in the division. We take care of business outside of that. We're in good shape. So it just changes the whole mindset of the fan base of the team if they're able to go out there and knock off the Dallas Cowboys week 1. It's such a big game. And on the other side, the fan base will be very deflated if we lose it. You'll start to hear it creep in. Same old Giants. They made improvements in the offseason, but they're still nowhere near the Cowboys. They're still nowhere near the Eagles. So it's a huge game to really show that we've started to close the gap from within this division. It's a monster game. It's a monster game. Let's see. This year, 102, 11, Thursday Night Football. I don't know. Is that you talking about the Chiefs game? We can beat the Cowboys. We are ready for the challenge. Let's go, Alex. Man, thanks for popping in. Why is McFadden starting over Simmons? I'm not surprised by that. Especially early on, right? Simmons is new to this team. He hasn't played. He played in the one preseason game for one drive. He had just gotten there 2 days earlier. Hasn't had a lot of experience with the playbook. I'm not surprised by that. I think Simmons will be sprinkled in, and he will get a growing role as the year progresses. But I'm not surprised McFadden's starting at all, actually. I actually expected that. Now, maybe at some point, maybe week 3, week 4, week 5, Simmons takes over the starting role or gets an increased role, whatever it may be. But, yeah, to start the year, I expected McFadden to be the starting linebacker. Let's see. Michael Irvin on Undisputed said the only way the Giants will beat the Cowboys is if Dak and Cooper Rush get hurt. Can't wait to upset them. We'll see, man. I'm not worried about what Michael Irvin says. Nobody talking about Saquon. Hope you, dude. Everybody's forgetting about Saquon Barkley. Everybody's forgetting about Saquon Barkley. All the talks about all the new acquisitions, Darren Waller. Everybody's forgetting about Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley's gonna have a big year. Score prediction. Listen. I will. I mean, I want to save it for if I do a prediction video, I want to save it for that. But if what I just said, that's what I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be 24-20 Giants. I think it's going to be a 3 or 4 point win either way, and I'm picking the Giants for several of the reasons that I've said. So I'm going 24-20 Giants. I think it's going to be a nail biter. I think it's going to come down to the wire. I think I'm going to get a lot of gray hairs, but in the end, I think Brian Daboll finds a way to win this game. I really believe that. Let's see. If they run Pollard a lot, I hope our D-line and second-tier D is ready. We made improvements to both, so our run defense absolutely should be better. I mean, listen, that's what we hope and think Afghanistan is going to be our biggest improvement on the defensive side of the football this year. You add all that depth to the D-line. You add a Bobby Okereke. You add a Simmons. You have to think the run defense is going to take a massive leap in it better. Last year, we might have been the worst run defense in football, 5.2 yards a carry. So that's something that's definitely got to take a big step up this year. Brian Daboll is good, but he doesn't actually play the game. You're right. Did Bill Belichick play the game? Does Mike Tomlin play the game? Coaching is a big factor in the NFL. It just is. There's a reason that the best coaches in the NFL always seem to win. When you have a great head coach, most games in the NFL come down to within 7 points, one way or the other. It's very rare, unless you're a horrible football team, that you consistently see blowouts. The better coach teams, the more disciplined teams, the teams with the better game plans, regardless of if they have slightly less talent, more often than not, will come out victorious in those games. That's just the truth. Coaching matters more in the NFL than any other of the 4 major sports. I strongly believe that. And I think we have the better coach. And I'm going to tell you what, call me a homer. Don't care. I think we got the better quarterback. I think the world's going to find out on Sunday night. Let's see. Xavier says we are not the NFC least anymore. Barkley, a.k.a. the Blue Beast. Let's go. And the imp says, D. Reed said the Jets D is equal to the 85. Oh, my God. Enough. How about the steel card? The 86 G-Man made a fool of himself. Stop. What's going on, JC, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. What's up, Dimes Productions, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. Are Ashawn and I haven't heard anything in terms of the injury report with either one of those guys. Amazing guy. Today it came out. Jordan Renan said the only 2 guys were Owens and Cordell Flott. I haven't heard anything else. What's up, Brick Nation? Alex says this game being at home definitely gives us an advantage for sure. 32-24 Giants. Listen, got to win this game. We got to win this game. You're home. If you're going to get a split against Dallas, this is the game to win. You're home. Like you said, you have more time to prepare. I think we have the advantage with the coaching staff. So in a game where it's not a week-to-week game, it's a game that you could prepare for 2 months leading up into the game. I think the first game of the year, more so than almost any other game, strongly benefits the team with the better coaching staff. I think we have the better coaching staff. I think most fans would say that the New York Giants have the better coaching staff, and the entire coaching staff is coming back intact. So if the Giants are going to beat Dallas this year, it's going to be this game. Now, who knows? Who knows what Dallas is going to look like later in the season? Who knows what we're going to look like later in the season? But going into the year, looking at the schedule, if we're going to get a split against Dallas, it's going to be opening night, Sunday Night Football, when we're at full health, and, for all the other factors that I expressed. Let's see. What's up, sports influencer man? Thanks for popping in. Last time we played in primetime here on Monday Night Football was 55 points, 22 time before that. On Sunday Night Football, 17 over. We'll see. I don't think it's going to be that high. I hope it's not that high scoring because I don't think that plays into our strength. South Texas coming in. He's already talking smack. I love it. I want all the Cowboys fans. Pour it on. Here we go. 51-6. 51-6. South Texas. He said, I'm not even giving you a touchdown. Graham Gano is going to kick 2 meaningless field goals. Or maybe he thinks we're going to miss an extra point. Graham Gano doesn't miss extra points. So he doesn't think we're scoring a touchdown. I love it. Keep it coming, my man. Let's see. JC Silva says, I want Wink to bring the house to Chase Dak back. Let's go, man. And Stephen Torres says, football is back. Let's go, Big Blue. What's going on, Stephen, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Let's go. Final score, 3-2. I'm 3-2 and 40-37 or 50-0 is just as pretty to me. Just win. I don't care. It's been so long since we've beaten this team. When Dak was starting a quarterback, I don't care. Just beat them. I'm sick and tired of hearing the meaningless stat. Oh, well, Dak's 10-2 against the Giants. Okay. Yeah, who wouldn't be 10-2 against the Giants during this time span? Giants were the worst team in football before last year. Last year was the first time since 2016 the New York Giants spent a day in a season over 500. Since 2016. And you're bragging that you're 10-2 against the Giants? Geno Smith be 10-2 against the Giants. Eddie Bridgewater be 10-2 against the Giants if he had the Cowboys team. I am so sick of hearing about this 10-2 mark. He's won his last 10 games. Okay, he's beaten up on a horrible football team. This team's better now. We got a better head coach. We're year 2 in the offense. We're year 2 in the defense. We got more talent. We're going to beat this football team opening week. I really believe that. What's up, Cork, man? Thanks for popping in. We're called the Giants. Now we need to play like the Goliath of the league. I say that we get 3 Cowboys turnovers and stomp them out. Stand up. What's going on, Cork, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. What's going on, Jai? Thanks for popping in the stream. Get that blank out of here. 54-7 G-Men. Trevor says, Barkley going to come out huge. Let's go. Saquon breakout game. Question, who will return our punts? They already said it. It's going to be Gray. Or at least that's how it is on the depth chart. He's been fielding all the punts in the preseason games. He's going to be the guy. That's the way it looks. Joe says, remember Hyatt and Dallas coaches. He gets 2 touchdowns. Giants win big 31-24. How great would it be, Joe? How great of an image would that be? Fourth quarter, Giants got the ball at like the 35 at Dallas. You got Trayvon Diggs lined up on Jalen Hyatt. You got the Dallas wide receiver coach on the sideline at the Dallas 20, staring at the field on the right sideline. Jalen Hyatt lined up on that side. Hyatt hits Diggs with a double move, runs an impeccable route, scores a touchdown, looks back and says, I told you so. Dallas wide receiver coach told Jalen Hyatt he can't run routes. How great would that be? That'd be fantastic. Let's see what we got. Luis R says T. Higgins I would love T. Higgins. I think he's a great fit. I don't know if he's going to become available next year. I think he's a free agent. I think he may have another year on his contract, but I would love T. Higgins. That's the exact type of wide receiver I would like the Giants to go after. He's young, and he's a guy that I think if he gets an increased role, will only become a better wide receiver like Stephon Diggs did. So him, Brandon Ayuk, if you're asking me the types of wide receivers I'd like to see the New York Giants go after, whether it be free agency, whether it be a trade, I'm looking more that route. I don't think those guys will be available from within season, but maybe in the offseason something happens. In season, I don't want to talk about the Mike Evans. I don't want Mike Evans. I don't want it. I don't think he makes sense for this team. South Texas says I'm predicting 7 sacks and 4 turnovers. Dak goes over 350. South Texas, man. You know what I respect about you, South Texas? You come across as a very conservative, even keel Cowboys fan. I mean that. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I think Dak, and I'm going to lowball it here. I think Dak throws for 700 yards, and I think he throws 9 touchdowns. So, South Texas, I appreciate that you don't think the Giants are going to lose by more than about 40 points. Because I agree with you. I think you're lowballing it, though. I think Dak's going to throw for 9 touchdowns. A matter of fact, for the year, I think Dak throws 100 touchdowns. I think he's going to almost double the all-time record set by Peyton Manning. I really believe that. I think he's going to absolutely destroy us on Sunday night. What's up, H5000? He says Trey and tight end need to Trey and Tay rather need to make the Dallas wide receivers pay for our receptions. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And Joni says I got my 3-year-old going around the house yelling, "Let's go, John! Let's go! Let's go!" I know you're excited. Let's go. Stand up. What's up, Mike Mercedes, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. What's up, Isaiah, man? Thanks for popping in. What part of this offseason where Shane built the second youngest roster in football leads people to think we pay top? Yeah, exactly. It doesn't fit the direction of this team. I get it, Michael. Fans are excited. Fans see a team that they feel if they add one more piece could elevate them into potential Super Bowl contention. I get it. But to me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, you already made that move. Like, to me, Darren Waller is a Mike Evans move. Darren Waller is a 30-year-old guy that you're committing 2 or 3 years to, who, is a little bit of an injury risk, a guy that could potentially plateau over the next year or two, but you didn't spend a whole lot to get him. You already made that move. I don't see the Giants committing more future draft capital, committing more future cap space to a aged wide receiver. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. That to me, they're not doing that. I think they go young if they add wide receiver. I don't see it. I don't think it makes sense. Let's see. Oh, Bill, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, Banks' first interception is a pick 6 for the win, and Dak goes in the IR. I would love that. How great would that be to see Dak shit his pants on national television? That'd be great. No, but okay. Listen, nobody's talking about Banks. And, he's a rookie. But I'm excited for Banks, man. I don't know about you guys in the chat. I thought Deonte Banks, and obviously during the start of training camp, all you heard about was how Deonte Banks was getting cooked and how he wasn't looking very good. And then reports came out that the Giants kind of tried to, I guess, test him, similar to the way in which they tested Daniel Jones the year before. They were constantly putting Darren Waller up on him. And then when we see Deonte Banks play in the preseason, I thought he looked fantastic. And he was going up against Jameson Williams. He's no slouch. I think Deonte Banks, he's going to have his struggles. He's a rookie. He's still young. But listen, if I'm the Giants, I'm putting Deonte Banks on Brandon Cooks. I say, okay, you got your speed wide receiver. I'm putting my speed young cornerback on him. That's what I'm doing. I'm shutting down Brandon Cooks with Deonte Banks. I'm putting Adoree in the slot on CD, and I'm putting Hawkins on Gallup. That's what I'm going to do. I think Banks will hold his own. I really believe that. I think Banks is going to look pretty good week 1. I'm excited to see him play. I would love to trade. I don't want either one of those guys, especially if you have to extend them. I don't want them. Michael says Cowboys will attack 2 players, Neal on offense and Banks on defense. Well, I just think the young corners in general, Michael, Hawkins and Banks, I agree. They're both going to get tested. The Cowboys are definitely going to take their shots. They're going to test those rookie corners. There's no doubt about it. And if you watch Hawkins, he's a little handsy. So I wouldn't be surprised if Hawkins gets hit with some DPIs or defensive holding penalties. They're definitely going to test their young corner. They'd be stupid not to. How do you not? How do you not test a rookie 6th-round corner and a rookie on the other side, even though he's a first-round pick who's like 20, 21 years old? They're definitely going to test those guys. That has to be the game plan going into the game. Let's see. What about we trade Hollywood Brown from Arizona? You got 2. That's good for us to. We'll see, South Tex. Meter Growl says that is a bad matchup for the Giants. I'm very nervous. Experienced and fast, big wideouts versus our young secondary. Could be. Meter Growl, we have to get home. We have to get home. There's no doubt about it. Our pass rush has to get there. If they do not, and Dak has time to throw, we're going to get hit for some big plays. There's no denying it going into this game. Kayvon's got to get home. Dex has to get home. Leo has to get home. They have to be able to create quick pressure to get the ball to, Dak's hand as quick as possible. There's no doubt about it. They need me on the Manning cast? That'd be great, Gerald. The Eli Manning, I'm wearing his jersey right now. Eli Manning is my favorite player of all time. And see, the Manning cast is fantastic. If you don't watch the Manning cast, I don't know what you're doing with your life. That, to me, what is the chat thing? And obviously we're biased. We're Giants fans. But we got some Cowboys fans sprinkled in. What does the chat think about the Manning cast in comparison to the traditional Monday Night Football? I could watch Peyton and Eli talk about football for 10 hours. 10 hours. Anytime I watch Monday Night Football, I'm turning them on. I'm not listening to the ESPN broadcast. I'm listening to Eli and Peyton, and I'm excited to see Tom Brady call games next year. I think it's going to be great. Let's see what we got. Simmons will have a strong game. Blitzing, we'll see. Yeah, Peyton and Brady equals bread and butter. The Manicast is great, but sometimes the guests bring it down. Yeah, I'll agree with that, Michael. I think at times they overdo the guest a little bit. Like the guest, it depends on the guest, but if you get the wrong guest on there, I agree. It could get a little bit boring. You need a guy with some personality. I agree with that. I think sometimes they overdo the guest a little bit. I agree with that. Hopefully they make some alterations. If I had one, I guess, like slight bash for it, I would agree. Way better than, it's not even close, Gerald. It's not even close. Let's see what we got. Have you watched the audition video today? No. For Peyton. I saw I was working. So, yeah, I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I saw people retweeting it on Twitter. I didn't get a chance to watch the video yet. But, as I'm working, I have my laptop always, to the left, and every once in a while I'll check Twitter to see if there's any updates. So I saw people talking about it today on Twitter, but I have not seen it yet. Let's see what we got. Romo's better than oh my God. This is sacrilegious. There is no way a Dallas Cowboy fan could actually believe that. There is no way a Dallas Cowboy fan watched the game in 2011 when Tony Romo allowed the New York Giants and Eli Manning to come back down 2 scores, by the way, with like 4 minutes to go in the game. And Tony Romo throws it over his wide receiver's head and allows the New York Giants to go to the playoffs and then win the Super Bowl. There is no way you're telling me a guy that has won 2 playoff games in his entire career because he put up stats is better than Eli Manning. The guy couldn't even hold on to an extra point in his first playoff game against the Seattle Seahawks. Stop. Tony Romo is a very good quarterback. I think Tony Romo is a bit underrated by some people. He's not close to Eli Manning. And PJ, man, thank you very much, says, what's up, Dana? Hope you are excited as me. How much playing time do you see Hyatt getting, if any? And am I the only one that's really worried about 2 rookie corners on the outside? No, I think the entire chat is a little bit worried. No, not 2007. I'm talking about 2011. 2007, he beat Romo in the playoffs. I'm talking about the regular season game in 2011. And we can watch those highlights if you want. That pissed Cowboys fans off. Maybe I'll put that on. The comeback by Eli Manning. Maybe the most overlooked performance by Eli Manning. Because everybody talks about the playoffs. Did you forget what Eli Manning did in 2000? I'll play it for you guys. I will gladly relive some clutch moments for Eli Manning against the Dallas Cowboys. But PJ says, what's up, Tanner? Hope you're excited as me. How much playing time do you see Hyatt getting, if any? Am I the only? No, like I said, PJ, I think the entire chat is concerned about the young secondary. I think that should be one of your biggest concerns outside of probably the offensive line going into this game. As far as Hyatt goes, I think Hyatt will get some playing time, but not a lot. I don't think he's going to be a featured wide receiver. I think they'll have a couple of plays picked out in the game. If the right opportunity presents itself, they'll look to get Hyatt involved on a deep passing pattern. But I don't think he's going to be a featured wide receiver going into this game. I do not think he's going to be a featured wide receiver going into this game. The chat's asking for it. Cowboys fans are going to have to grit and bear it. I'm going to play it. Hold on. 2011, Giants, Cowboys, Eli Manning comeback. Oh, that's what I'm typing on YouTube. Guaranteed. First thing that's going to come up. Let's see. I mean, it's 21 minutes. I'm not playing the whole thing. Look at Romo's face. I love it. Yeah, we'll play this. I think this is the game here.
Meet again, week 17. Seconds remaining.
The mic, meaning they think that he could.
Wait a second. Hold on. No, this ain't it. I mean, that's it, but that's not showing you the whole comeback. That's like the very end. Let me do this one.
I photographed food in New York and Philadelphia and Paris. DocuSign lets me take care of the business.
There is Cruz, and he gets free for a first down. Cowboys shuffling. McBride.
It's the injury to line now for the Giants, just like in their Super.
And then he hits Brock. He's still looking at short of the 15 by Denver. 32. Right to work
Wait,
on
this is the
that
wrong
side,
game. I'm
and it's
sorry.
Hakeem Nicks for the touchdown.
This is the wrong game. Hold on. Where's the comeback? Where's the comeback game? Maybe it must be this one.
Of the league, 14.
Almost exclusively to these
I
three.
picked out the wrong game. Somebody in the chat, let me know. Where's the comeback game? What's up, Charles Barkley, man? Thanks for popping the stream, man. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Week 14. Was that the one? That must be the one. It's too long ago.
Get the playoff here. Takes that back at the 3-yard line, all the way down. Number 31, stepping away from Butler. Throw. Deflected by Victor Butler. And isn't that something? Where is out of the game? And wide open.
Game's over.
Touchdown.
Game's over. 5:41 to go. Giants down 34-22. The game's over.
Roll
We got no
back
chance.
at Webster.
There's no way
Say,
Eli Manning can pull this off.
What happened? 50-yard
There's no
touchdown.
way. Giants are dead. Season's over.
Deflected at the
We
line
lose
of
this game, we don't
scrimmage.
make
He
the
takes the shotgun snap on
From
second
his own
down.
20.
And then throws,
Manning
and that's
Cruz,
caught.
11 yards, automatic, first
There
down.
goes Eli in the fourth quarter. He's got to do
From the
it big
31,
now.
Eli drops
Number
back,
31,
steps up,
stepping
avoids
away
the
from
pressure,
Butler
checks it down.
throwing, and it's caught.
Down to 4 minutes. We're down 12 points.
Blitz again.
No
Backing
way.
away.
No
Throwing,
way.
It floats, and it is caught.
Okay. 3:33. We're still down 12. I mean, we got a prayer. Look at this throw by Eli. Oh, my God. The Knicks at the 10.
He does. Hakeem
We still got 2 timeouts.
8 catches, 163
Eli
for
looks,
Knicks.
cooks, floater in the
To
end
the
zone.
corner, and
Batted
that's
away.
batted away.
Come on, Eli. Come on, E.
Good protection. Pass is caught
Touchdown.
for a
Let's
touchdown.
go. All right, we still got a prayer, guys. We still got a
Are
prayer.
you sick of having
3:14
issues with
to
your
go. Let's see
webinars,
what happens.
wasting tons of time on troubleshooting with attendees?
Allard
Romo
at
has
the
to
goal
screw up,
line.
otherwise we're dead.
And the
That guy that the
Giants will
guy
make
said
it
the chat is much better than
a
Eli.
one-possession
He's
game.
got to screw this up
It's a
somehow,
big
right?
stop for the
Second and 5.
Giants
Let's
here
find out
because
what
they
happens.
would like to take their timeout
Okay,
defensively.
handoff, Murray.
Here's Jones, and now
Let
they
him go
can
next
do
year.
that at the 24-yard line.
Okay.
Again,
3rd
big
and
stop
5.
coming for the
Let's see what that
Giants
Romo,
here.
I mean, Romo's super clutch. He'll make
Had
a
to
play
use
here.
an earlier timeout.
There's
They're
no
down
way
to
he
one
doesn't
plus
make
the
a play.
2-minute warning.
There's
and
the throw. He's
Romo's
got it
gonna
wide
throw,
open.
and too deep
Oh,
for Austin.
goodness.
Austin.
Oh, my
had
God,
beaten the
Romo, how did you
coverage.
miss that?
right down the field here. Absolutely wide open.
Oh,
No
Romo.
way in the world can Tony Romo miss that throw. It is unbelievable.
Here's
I mean,
Matt
we still got
McBriar.
21. We're down
And
5.
this
We don't really do
is
anything.
a short
no
kick.
way Eli
Not a
can do
good
this. He
kick from one of
sucks.
the.
Hold on, let's see.
Here
It's
comes the blitz. Pick it
Okay.
up. Pass is caught.
Oh, wow.
This is Ballard.
Oh,
and it's an
another
errant
bad snap.
And it's
Oh,
all
we're
the
dead.
Giants
We're
can
dead.
do to come up with it. And
Second
on
and
the
a
play
mile.
before that with a
And
flag.
a flag.
Offside. Defense
Is.
number 94.
Oh, it was on the defense. Thank you, Dallas.
So it's 1st down and 5 after that. Good protection. Manning throws. That's
Oh, okay. First down.
Butler lines up in that spot, 57. They block him. Manning
I
buys
missed
time,
this
throws,
offensive line.
caught, and to the 1-yard line goes Ballard.
But you probably don't really care if they stop you on this first one and burn a little clock.
Here's Jacobs. And
All
Jacobs
right,
is going to
Brandon
get
couldn't
taken
get in,
down
waste more
at the
clock.
1-yard line. Dallas has
People forget
one
about this
timeout
comeback.
left.
Everybody talks about the
Giants will move
playoffs
into
and
a
the
tie
Super
for
Bowl
first
run.
place, and in
People
fact,
forget about
on
it. If
the
we lose
tiebreak
this
by
game, we're
virtue
dead.
of this
Drop
win.
to 6
Teams
and
will
7.
meet
Season's
again
over. We're going to win the
week
Super Bowl this year
17
because we
at
won
the
this game.
Meadowlands.
On the goal line.
Jacobs behind Hanaski. He has it. To the right side he goes, and he's in for the touchdown.
There you go. You guys get
So
the
it's a
picture.
touchdown
I hope
for the
Dallas fans
Giants.
enjoyed that. I hope Dallas fans enjoyed that. That was fun for me. I hope it was fun for the chat too. That was fun for me. Let's see. But PJ, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, buddy. Let's get back to the chat. Boom, 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 boom. And Giovanni says, "What are your thoughts on the NFL being scripted?" Stop. The NFL being scripted is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Like, now, do I think that there may be some shaving of points at times? I mean, yeah, I won't rule that out. But whenever somebody tells me that the NFL is scripted, how do you script the David Tyree catch? How do you do that? How do you script the catch by what was the catch? What was it? I forgot who it was. That ridiculous catch. Was it on the Patriots? In I forgot what Super Bowl it was. Maybe it was against the Falcons. Like, you can't script plays like that. So, no. Do I think the NFL scripted? Absolutely not. No. Bob Wells says, Tana, you know the picture is blurry. Oh, the picture's blurry? All right, Bob. I'm sorry about that. Let's see what's that. Yeah, Manning. Edelman. That's who I was talking about. Edelman. The ridiculous catch, when he was able to dive back and catch the ball. You can't script that. Let's see. There's no crying, you clown, shoe, and I'm speaking to the podcast and not your dumbass anyway. Well, I appreciate that, Lord King. Thank you. Good throw by Tony Romo. Let's see. What's going on, Ryan? D-Man, thanks popping in. Who's your dark horse team this year? My dark horse team this year? I mean, I'm going to exclude the Giants because that's obvious. Like, I'm always, I'm not going to be overly biased. My dark horse team this year. Well, what do you consider a dark horse? Like, I'm not going to pick like a team like the Jaguars, for example, because that's a team that I expect to do really well. Like, I think most people expect them to do really well. When you ask me a dark horse, I'm going to make it hard. I'm going to pick a team that, like, people think is going to win, like, 6 games that I think could sneak into the playoffs. So if you ask me that, my dark horse, nobody in the West, because the Seahawks, everybody thinks is going to be good. The 49ers are good, and I don't think the Rams are anything. I don't think the Cardinals are anything. Nobody in our division, because I think nobody would be surprised if any of the top 3 teams make the playoffs, and I don't think Washington's making the playoffs. The South, like the Saints, I think are going to win the division, but I don't consider that a dark horse. That division is awful. All right, here's my team. I don't think I'm picking them to win their division, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like, going into the year, I'm picking the Lions. My dark horse. Like if you like at the end of the year, if they won 10 games, I wouldn't be shocked. And I think a lot of people are writing them off. Green Bay Packers. If Jordan Love clicks and he's good, I could see the Packers being better than people think. I'm not saying they're Super Bowl contenders. I'm not picking them to do a lot of damage in the playoffs. But I'm going to pick a team that most people think are going to win like 5 or 6 games. I'll go with the Packers. I could see them surprising. I could see them being better than people think. Michael Sachs says, good luck to your team. Not when you play us. Who that? That's going to be a tough game. That's going to be a tough game against the Saints. It's one of the toughest places to play. Saints have a good defense. We'll see. Let's see. I don't consider the Chargers a dark horse. I mean, they went to the playoffs last year. Everybody had the Chargers going to, a lot of people picked them to go to the Super Bowl last year. So I think the Chargers are going to make the playoffs, but I don't really consider that a dark horse. I'm not a fan of the Falcons, but a lot of people seem to like the Falcons. Falcons are getting a lot of love. They always seem to get a lot of love, but no, I'm not in love with the Atlanta Falcons. Titans dark horse, it's possible. I mean, they got a great head coach in Mike Vrabel, but they've already had a key injury. Steelers are a good one. But are they really considered a dark horse at this point? They always finish over 500. Denver's an interesting one, Kenny. I actually like that pick because I thought Denver obviously severely underachieved last year, and now they add Sean Payton. I don't hate that pick. The only problem with Denver is they play in the AFC West. And that's like an ultra-competitive division, right, between the Chiefs and the Chargers. So it's hard for me to envision Denver winning more than maybe 9 or 10 games. But Denver's a good pick. I could see Denver maybe sneaking into the back end of the playoffs. I can't see them winning the division. Let's see. I don't consider the Lions a dark horse. I think most people think that the Lions are going to win the North. But I like the Lions. I think the Lions are one of the top 3 or 4 teams going into the year in the NFC. I mean, their offensive line is tremendous. They've got a really good defensive line. Yeah, I think the Lions are good, but I think most people think they're good going into the year. So I personally don't really consider them a dark horse. Browns, they're a potential dark horse. Issue with the Browns, and I could see where you're going with that. Deshaun Watson, they definitely have some nice pieces on that team. A pretty solid offensive line. They got Amari Cooper. I could see it. Here's my issue with the Browns. Their division is just too tough. The Steelers they're not sweeping the Steelers. The Steelers are always competitive. The Bengals are great, and the Ravens are improved. So that's my issue with the Browns. Could they win 8, maybe 9? Yeah, but the AFC is so loaded, and the AFC North is so tough that I find it hard for me to see them making the playoffs. I think it's going to take at least 10 wins to make the playoffs in the AFC. And the division the Browns play in, without me looking at their schedules, knowing that the teams they play from within the North, I see that being a tall task for them to make the playoffs. And Michael Sachs says, think of Deion has done his coach the NFL is next. I mean, we'll see. I mean, Deion looked great. Obviously Colorado looked great. A huge upset. I didn't see that coming. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Deion's son looked great at the quarterback. And I forgot his name, but the guy who played corner and wide receiver, he played 111 snaps. He looked awesome. I don't know if he could translate to the NFL. I mean, I'm not saying he can. I'm sure he could. He probably needs a little bit more seasoning at the collegiate level, but I think Deion's good where he is. Like, I think he just feels like a college coach to me, which is not an insult. Like, Nick Saban's one of the greatest head coaches of all time. He's excelled at the collegiate level. I think Deion just, like, I don't know. Like, he's like the type of guy that I think college kids would gravitate towards. He just feels like a college coach. But hey, I'm not saying he can't be successful in the NFL. I'm sure he could, but he's off to a great start. Yeah, Travis Hunter. That's who it was. The Imp says Deion wins one. Did it again. But I'm excited to see when they play USC. I know they play USC this year, I think. They play a lot of, I think will be high-scoring games in a competitive conference. So we'll see how they work out. I fixed it. What's up, Roldy, man? Good to see you, man. Stream whatever. You're talking about fantasy football? And what's up, Roman? Jules says, I hate to say this, but what about the commies? They still got that good defense, but the quarterback is questionable. I mean, it's the same thing. The same thing I just said about the Browns, I say about Washington. Like, I don't rule Washington out for being a thorn in the side of the Giants, of Dallas, of the Eagles. I just can't see them winning more than maybe 8 games because I look at the division. Like, all right, let's look at the Giants and Washington. I think on paper, in terms of an overall team, you could say the talent's pretty close. I think that's fair to say. Like, if you're a Washington fan and you want to argue that, I think that's fair to say. It's relatively close as an overall 53-man roster. But for me, our coaching staff is so much better than that. Well, we'll see about Bieniemy, but I think our head coach is much better than theirs. They got a good defensive coordinator, too. I'm not going to knock Del Rio, but I think our coaching staff is better, and I think we got the better quarterback. So I can't see Washington sweeping the Giants. Maybe they could split with them if we stay relatively healthy. The game of football is unpredictable. I don't see them beating the Eagles again this year. I just find it hard to believe that Washington could win maybe more than 7, 8 games tops. And that's why I don't see them making the playoffs. I just think our division's too tough. To be honest with you, Rolly, I haven't gotten a chance to see him play. I know Yankees fans are excited about him. I know he hit a ball like 117 miles an hour his first plate appearance. And I know he's a very highly thought of prospect that, a lot of people were talking about when the Yankees traded for him, but I haven't gotten a chance to see him play. I think I saw one at bat. I was at a bar and he was up at the plate, but I haven't gotten a chance to really watch him play. Let's see. Besides KT and DJ, yeah. Afghanistan says, if you had to reluctantly choose one on a 2-year, $6 million deal, who would you rather have back? Deone Buchanan or... I think I'd go with Tuzar Skipper. I think I'd go with Two's our skipper. The old Pittsburgh Steeler. I mean, that name was fantastic. That name was fantastic, Afghanistan. Thoughts on DJ restructuring his contract, making room for a move? No, I don't think it's making room for a move. The Giants had no. Oh, I thought you traded for him. Okay, you signed him. My mistake. But I know people have been talking about him for a long time. As far as DJ restructuring his contract, I'm confusing him with another. I know Dominguez has been highly talked about, but I must have confused him with another trade the Yankees made for a prospect. But as far as DJ restructuring his contract, yeah, the only takeaway I have from that, basically that just got us even with the cap. I think we have like $1 million of cap space now after you account for the practice squad and the raise from the 51 man to the 53. Now with the roster, I think there was that was right before the deadline. So the Giants had to get even with the cap by then. So that's why they made the move. But my main read from that move, as I said earlier in the stream, was it was just the coaching staff and the general manager showing more confidence to Daniel Jones because it commits you. The probability now of them committing themselves to a third year of Daniel Jones went up. Like that's just common sense, right? When he was an $18 million dead hit before that move, now he's a $22 million dead hit after the move. If you're Daniel Jones, that's a no-brainer. It gives you a higher probability of being able to get a third year with Brian Dable, continuing to grow. It gives the Giants less leverage in terms of being able to cut you if things go south. Now you only save $19 million if you were to cut him, and that's not accounting for the pretty easy to reach incentives. Like if he's a top 15 quarterback, he gets an extra $1 million this year, next year. So that, they're probably only going to be able to save $16 million by the time that comes around in 2025 to cut him. So to me, that's the Giants telling you that Daniel Jones is at least seeing 3 years of this contract. $16 million is going to be nothing. That's almost going to be a backup quarterback in 2025. So that was my only main takeaway from that. That's Joe Schoen putting more faith in Daniel Jones and saying, yeah, this is not going to be a 2-year experiment. We're going to get at least 3 years out of this guy, and we're going to see what we have. Let's see. You picked Colorado to beat TCU. That's a hell of a pick. I did not see that. I think TCU was like a 20-plus point favorite. Like they were a huge favorite going into that game. Start, sit, release. Darren Waller, Saquon. I don't want to pick that. I mean, the one guy for sure I'm starting is Kayvon just based on his age. Right? So, but I'm not going to pick between Darren Waller and Saquon. You're not getting me to do that. What's up, Nicky Sav? Tyler Smith might be Nicky, but I saw before we went live, there was a report that said that Jerry Jones expects Tyler Smith to suit up. So I'd be surprised if he doesn't play. I think he's going to play. I don't think I'm muted now. Dylan is cool. I don't think it's muted. Maybe you're behind on the stream, Dylan is cool, but I don't think it's muted now. Let's see. You drafted Jalen Hyde as your third wide receiver. I will call you crazy, Robert. What's up, Roman Man? Thanks for popping in the stream. You guys want to see my fantasy team? I just did my fantasy draft, actually. Now, keep in mind, this is a keepers league, okay? So, my team's going to look better than a traditional fantasy team because going in, first off, it's a 2-quarterback league, okay? It's a 2-quarterback league, so you have to start 2 quarterbacks. So if you've never done a 2-quarterback league before, they fly off. They fly off the draft chart, right? Like a quarterback typically would, if you don't get Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen, they typically go in like the 8th round, right, of a 1-quarterback league. In a 2-quarterback league, the 12th, 13th best quarterbacks going in the first 3 rounds. So they fly off the shelves. It's only a 9-team league. Usually it's a 10-team league. A guy backed out last chance, so we're gonna have like weird buys. So this team is gonna look stacked. Because I was able to keep Daniel Jones before the draft. I was able to keep Tony Pollard before the draft. And I was able to keep Christian McCaffrey before the draft. I drafted Daniel Jones in the 12th round the year before, so I got to keep him in the 12th round of a 2-quarterback league. I drafted Tony Pollard in the 10th round the year before because he was the backup to Zeke. I figured he was going to take over as the starter. I kept him, and I kept McCaffrey, who I drafted in the 1st round the year before. So this is my team. This team is stacked, like ridiculous. A 2-quarterback league, I got Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones. I got Tony Pollard and Christian McCaffrey. I got Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf, Darren Waller at the tight end. I got Christian Watson at the flex. All right, God. I gotta drop the Eagles defense. That was like my last round pick, and I just said I'll pick the Eagles because they're playing New England week 1. I'm gonna stream a defense. I'll be dropping them by week 2. That disgusts me that they're even on my team. And then on the bench, I got Terry McLaurin, Miles Sanders, Matthew Stafford, Antonio Gibson, Elijah Mitchell, who is obviously my handcuff for Christian McCaffrey. C.J. Stroud's my third quarterback. I got Jamison Williams, who's on suspension, is like, whatever. He's a throw at a dartboard. And then I got Achane, the rookie running back for Miami, who a lot of people think when he gets healthy could be solid this year for a rookie running back. But that team's ridiculous. That team's loaded. Like, if I don't win the championship, I'll be disappointed. Let's see what we got. And Blue Collar, what's going on, my man? He says, hey, Dana, on defense, go position by position in the NFC East and see who has the better grade. Oh, wow. I'd have to really look at the rosters to. All right, let me look. Hold on. Defensive line is tough because, my God, the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Eagles all have great defensive lines. Like, it's neck and neck. Like, obviously, Parsons, Tank Lawrence. The Eagles always have a great defensive line. They're super deep, too. You can make an argument, in my opinion, any one of those three could have the best defensive line in the division. All three of them are great defensive lines. Like, all three of them are probably top 5, 6 defensive lines in the league. They're really good. So you're splitting hairs there. D lines are pretty neck and neck for me. Linebacker. Let me look at the linebackers. Hold on. Our linebackers are obviously better. They're still not great. The Eagles have depth at the linebacker. Let me see. They're starting Dean this year. Cunningham. What's the Cowboys linebackers? I mean, obviously, they still have Van Der Esch. I don't know. I think our linebackers are pretty on par with those two teams, too. Call me crazy. I don't think I'd give them a slight edge, but it's not as bad as it's been in the past. Obviously, with the addition of Bobby Okereke, now we have Isaiah Simmons, McFadden. I think we're pretty close to them. But where we are going to be separated from both the Eagles and the Cowboys is obviously the secondary. We have young rookie corners. They have experienced corners. We do not. Could we maybe get closer as the year goes along as these guys get more experience? Yes. Are we trending upward there and they're trending downward, at least the Eagles, because they have older corners? Yes. But this year, we're distant to those teams, at least going into the year. That's where they have the upper hand. But I think the front seven, we're right there with any team in this division. I think we're right there. But obviously the secondary, the cornerback position specifically, that's a worry going into the year for us. They're stronger, at least going in, than we are. Offense, the Eagles. The Eagles have the best offensive line in football. It's not even close. Like, yeah, as a single person, you could say Andrew Thomas on the Giants in terms of left tackle. But if you're talking about a unit, the Eagles have the best offensive line. Wide receivers, I think Washington has good wide receivers. They may have, the Eagles have the best with Brown and obviously Devontae Smith. But after them, I would say Washington probably has the second best wide receivers. And the Cowboys are probably third. The Giants are probably fourth. But when you talk about the weapons as a whole, when you incorporate Darren Waller, when you incorporate Saquon Barkley, well, that changes the discussion a bit. Barkley's the best running back in the division. Pollard's probably second. Waller's the best tight end. Goddard's really good too, but Waller's the best tight end. So I just think the makeup of our team is different than other teams in our division, right? The strength is not the wide receiver. The strength is the tight end. The strength's the running back. And we're pretty deep at the wide receiver position. So it's just a different makeup. But, yeah, the Eagles have the best wide receiving core. I'd say we have the best tight end. I'd say we have the best running back. Quarterback, everybody's going to go by stats. Jalen Hurts has everything in place. He's got the best offensive line. He's got the best wide receiving core in the division, one of the best wide receiving cores in football. He's got a great defense. Like, he's got everything in place. Put Daniel Jones on that team, he's going to do fine too. So, It is. To me, it's more so about the surrounding cast. I don't think Jalen Hurts is any better than Daniel Jones. I'll say it. I've said it several times. I'm going to continue to say it because it's what I believe. I don't think he's any better than Daniel Jones. I think Jalen Hurts has a golden opportunity. Word, thank you very much. He says, just got off work. Go Giants, stand up. What's going on, Word, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. I appreciate it, buddy. Let's see. Yeah, the Eagles lost TJ Edwards. And that's why Nakobe Dean's starting. Let's see. I think Daniel Jones is the best quarterback in the NFC East. I mean, we'll see. I mean, things are not all things are equal. Not all things are equal. So it's very hard to compare them. It's apples and oranges. You look at what Dak's had his entire career. You look at what Hurts has had now his last 2 years in the NFL, and we're catching up. We're improving the team around him. Do I think Daniel Jones can win football games in this division and beat those teams as this team gets better and improves and gets more even with those teams? 100%. 100%. I don't look at Hurts and say, oh, Daniel Jones can't do that when I watch him play. No, I just don't. DeAndre Swift is very good. It was a good pick. I mean, he's been somewhat disappointing since he's been in the NFL, but he is a very talented player, no doubt about it. I thought that was a good. Well, what did they trade to get DeAndre Swift? What did they give up? Like what was it, a third or a fourth? I can't remember. He'll do well there. They got a great offensive line. Even ESPN starting to walk back the Jones hate recently. I mean, I'm excited to see what they could do with him year 2 in the scheme. The other quarterbacks of the East definitely have better receivers. Well, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I mean, Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson. I mean, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Obviously, Dak's always had really good receivers for the most part. He's had Dez Bryant, and then he had Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. Dan Jones never had any of that. Do you think Deonte Banks could have a Sauce Gardner? No, I do not. I think that's asking for way too much going into the year. If you're expecting Sauce Gardner had one of the greatest rookie years ever by a cornerback, probably maybe the greatest rookie year ever in the history of the NFL for a cornerback. Like, you could make a legitimate argument off of last year that Sauce Gardner, if he's not the best cornerback in the league, he's among. That's how good he was in his rookie year. So, no, there's no way I'm going to think that Deonte Banks is. I mean, I hope he does. That'd be great. But there's no way I'm going to go into the year expecting that. Cornerbacks typically take some time to develop. But do I think he could be a really good corner? Absolutely. I think he's going to be a very good corner. Tana, any quarterbacks you think will make a huge leap that others might be sleeping on? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about quarterbacks that under the radar quarterbacks. Let me take a look around the league. Let's talk about under the radar quarterbacks. Bills are not under the radar. Jets are not under the radar. Dolphins, I'm not a huge fan of too. He's just got a great supporting cast. Mac Jones sucks. I've never been a fan of Mac Jones, and his supporting cast sucks. I'm going to throw a name out there. I'll wait, but so far I like one in terms of a guy that could burst onto the scene and be better than people think. Watson, we already know he's good. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Lawrence, we already know. Titans, no, nobody there. Rookies are too, I'm not going to go with any of the rookies, with the Strouds, with the Anthony Richardsons. I'm not doing that. Chiefs, Chargers, no. Raiders. So far I got one guy sticking out, but let me keep going. I'm going to leave off Daniel Jones because I think he's already good. I think he's only going to get better. I got two guys so far. Yeah, I got my two. My two quarterbacks that I could see, I guess, being better than people think going into the year and maybe ascending into being very good quarterbacks this year that people don't see. Pickett, and I was not a big fan of Pickett coming in. I've watched Pickett in some of these games. He's looked good, and they got good wide receivers. With Pickens, obviously the Steelers know how to build a football team. So I'm going to throw him in there. I'm not saying he's going to be an elite quarterback, but I could see him being looked at as a good to very good quarterback by year's end. So I'm going to throw him in there, and I'm going to throw Jordan Love. Those are my two. Pickett and Love. I'm not gonna say Fields because everybody's already hyping up Fields. Everybody's saying that Justin Fields is already a top 10 quarterback. Guy's 5-20 in his career. I don't think he's ever thrown for 300 yards in a game. Everybody's already saying he's a top 10 quarterback. So to me, Justin Fields better be a top 10 quarterback. That's all I've heard. He's got improved weapons. So to me, that's not breaking onto the scene. All I keep hearing is how good the guy is. So I haven't heard much love for Pickett. I haven't heard much love for Jordan Love. So I'll throw those two names in there. Let's see. Best cap situation in the NFC East. The Eagles have backloaded the hell out of everything. I'm not looking at their cap, off the top of my dome, but they've backloaded the hell out of everything. So it's not going to be them. But I understand it. I think the Eagles have done the right thing. Nobody says that he's top 10. You want me to pull up lists? I can show you plenty of lists where people say he's top 10. The NFL players said he was top 10. In the top 100 players in the NFL voted on by the NFL players in the year 2022, Justin Fields was ranked 10 spots ahead of Trevor Lawrence. That's a fact. That is not a lie. That is a fact. That is the NFL top 100 players. I could show you several other lists where people have said that Justin Fields is a top 10 quarterback already in the NFL. I think he's top 10 in MVP possibilities this year going into the year. I think I saw that. I think he was voted last year top 10 for MVP or damn near close for a team that finished with the first overall pick. So, yeah, that's real. Top 100 players in the NFL as voted by the players. He's ranked number, I think it was, 80? He might have even been higher than that. I know he was 10 spots ahead of Trevor Lawrence. And Nick says, Chris, do you think the Eagles will be somewhat affected by the change in coordinators? Also, I think Trevor Lawrence is due for a monster year. I don't think people are talking about that enough. I do think that will have an effect. The Eagles are still good. Obviously, they're still great where it matters most, and that's up at the point of attack. Their offensive line is great. Kelsey's older. We'll see if he holds up all year, but he's probably the best center in the NFL. They have a great offensive line, so they're still going to be really good. But do I think it could have an effect? Yeah. A new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator? Yeah. A more challenging schedule? Yeah. It could take some time for the Eagles to really start to click this year. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles win 10 games this year. Wouldn't be surprised with their schedule, with the changing of the guard, with the offensive and defensive coordinators. I would not be surprised. And I agree with you about Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a massive year. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is going to be able to beat up on probably the worst division in football in the AFC South. He's playing the Colts twice. Look at the teams he plays. He's not playing anybody special. So he's going to be able to beat up on that. He showed a lot of growth in the second half of the season last year. I agree with you. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a big year. Let's see. There wasn't 10 quarterbacks on the 100 list, but Fields was on there, which suggests that the NFL players somehow see him as a top 10 quarterback. Yeah, let me see. I'll show you the list right now. This is voted on. Oh, maybe this is not the NFL players. This might be. No, yeah, this is it, right? Yeah, this is it. So this is the top 100 players this year. Is voted on by the players. This is on Sharp Analysis, but this was the NFL players because I know Trevor Lawrence was 10 spots behind Justin Fields. Justin Fields was 86. Trevor Lawrence was 96. Andrew Thomas was not on the list. All-Pro left tackle was not on the list. Let's count the quarterbacks. You had Trevor Lawrence, that's 1. You had Justin Fields, that's 2. You had Tua Tagovailoa, that's 3. You had Geno Smith, that's 4. They might add 10 quarterbacks. You had Lamar Jackson, that's 5. They had to have had 10 quarterbacks. Goff is 6. Prescott led the league in interceptions last year. Missed like 4 games. Is the 56th best player in the NFL. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? He's the 56th best player in the NFL. He's the 7th quarterback on the list. Dak Prescott. Okay. Aaron Rodgers is 8. Kirk Cousins is 9. So they had a good amount of quarterbacks on here. Justin Herbert, 10. And then you had Josh Allen, 11. Burrow, 12. Hurts, they had 14 quarterbacks on the list. They had him ranked as the 13th best quarterback, but 86th overall in the league. Let's see. Jalen Hurts is the second coming. I actually think I don't know. I mean, obviously he runs a lot like Cam did, but I think I've often said that the guy that reminds me most of Cam Newton in terms of his style of play is actually Josh Allen, just in terms of his build, his arm strength, I cannot wait till this cord gets here. I'm going to order 3 of them. But he reminds me of a taller, bigger Kyler Murray in terms of his style of play. I think Allen is similar to Cam Newton, more so. Let me switch this back. Watson says, I got the Giants 27, the clown, but somebody asked me earlier, I think I said 24-20. It was either 24-20 Giants. That's what I got. People love the Falcons this year. What's the appeal with the Falcons? I want to know. Like, why are people enamored with the Falcons this year? I've seen a lot of people. The Falcons now have better Super Bowl odds than the New York Giants to win the Super Bowl. And I understand that they're in the NFC South. So that's the only valid argument that I think somebody could make. They play in a really weak division, and people, I guess, are convincing themselves that they're going to win the division, which suggests they will get a home playoff game. I think the Saints are better than the Falcons personally, but I could at least see somebody making that argument. But what's the appeal to the Falcons? I don't get it. Like, Desmond Ridder? I know that they got Bijan Robinson. I know that Kyle Pitts is talented. But Desmond Ridder? I don't know. I don't know. Jason says Daniel is my starting quarterback in fantasy. He's my starting quarterback in fantasy also. So, yeah, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan. I think he's going to have a big year, both in fantasy and real life. JMS rookie, cut him some slack, no excuse for Neal. Yeah, I don't. Well, what do you mean by no excuse for Neal? Do you mean no excuse for him not to be elite? Because I'm not going into the year expecting he's going to become elite. I think there's no excuse for him not to become an average tackle this year. He has to have an ascension this year. We have to see growth. I don't expect Andrew Thomas, but I don't expect him to be a guy that is just he can't have a 44 PFF grade. He can't get, completely obliterated every time he goes up against a good edge rusher. I'll agree with you on that. They have sneaky good stand-up. My prediction, G-Men will do enough to win the NFC East. Man, that is a ballsy prediction, Anthony. But I hope you're right, man. I really do. I hope you're right. I think we'll be in contention. I'll say that, Anthony. I think we'll be playing meaningful football from within this division late into the season. I don't think anybody's running away with this division. I'll get on board with that. Aaron Rodgers doesn't make it throughout the season with that poor O-line. Here's my take on the Aaron Rodgers thing. I think Aaron Rodgers, it's a problem. The Jets' offensive line is not very good. But I think Aaron Rodgers is going to make that Jets' offensive line look better than what they are. Because he's an incredible pre-snap quarterback. We saw him do it several times with the Green Bay Packers when they had guys. They became really good linemen, obviously. But I think a lot of that had to do with Aaron Rodgers. It's still definitely not good. And yeah, Rodgers is going to be pissed at times with that offensive line. But I think Rodgers will make that offensive line look better than they actually are. That's my prediction. I think they'll get by with it. I think the Jets are going to be good. I'm not going to hate on the Jets. I think they're going to be good this year. I don't think they're winning a Super Bowl, but I think they're going to be good. Let's see. What's going on, Million Man? Thanks for popping in the stream. "12-5 Giants, 11-6 Eagles," from your lips to God's ears. If Taylor Heineke plays for the Falcons, I don't know. I'm not. Would I be shocked if the Falcons win 9 or 10 games? No, because their division is just trash. Like, they should sweep the Bucs. They probably should sweep the Panthers. So if they do that, that's 4 wins right there. That's at least probably 3 wins. So that's 3-1, 4-0 right there. But I don't think they're a good football team. I just don't. Maybe they could sneak in with 9 wins and win that division or get a wild card. But I don't think the Falcons are very good. Let's see. It will come down to the divisional record. Who wins the division this year? And nobody won back-to-back titles in over a decade. Mark, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to jinx anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles fall off a little bit this year. Let's just leave it at that. What do we need to do to beat Dallas on Sunday? I mean, Anthony, it's pretty simple. To me, this isn't rocket science when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. We know them. We know what they're good at. We know what they destroyed us at last year. It's the trenches. It's Evan Neal. It's the interior offensive line. That's the key. Are they going to manhandle the Dallas pass rush? Absolutely not. Dallas is one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, but they cannot get obliterated. Daniel Jones cannot get pressured every time he drops back to throw a pass. So it's the offensive line, especially in a game like this, going up against that pass rush, seeing how Dallas played us last year. And on the defensive side, it's getting quick pressure on the quarterback because we know that our secondary is young. We know that Dallas has veteran wide receivers, guys that can make explosive plays. So it's our pass rush being able to create quick pressure on Dak, and it's our offensive line being able to hold up. The key to this game is, especially this game, it's every game, but especially this game, is the trenches. We have to be able to contain their pass rush, and we have to be able to formulate some kind of pressure on their offensive line, something that we were not able to do last year. That's the key to this game. It's cut and dry, man. Let's see. Someone told me the Giants trading for Mike. No, it's not happening. I mean, I will never say never, but I do not expect it to happen. Bengals did start 0-2 last year, just saying Super Bowl hangover is real. Well, I mean, let's think about it. Let's look over the course of history with Super Bowls. Let's take a quick look. Super Bowl results. Let's see how the teams that lost the Super Bowl did the following year. Let's see if there's a legitimacy to this. We'll go back to 2000. Starting there. I don't remember how the Titans did the next year when they lost to St. Louis. I honestly don't remember. I still think they were pretty good if I recall, but I don't remember. Giants, after they lost to Baltimore, were not very good the following year. I think they made the playoffs the year after that. St. Louis, after they lost to New England, I think they fell off. I think they lost, if I recall, in the playoffs the next year, in the first round, I think, to the Saints. Oakland kind of fell off, I think, if I recall, after they got demolished by Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. I don't remember what happened to Carolina with Del Home after New England, but I don't remember them being very good after that. Let's go more recent because I'll remember that better. Carolina with Newton fell off after they got killed by Denver in the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan and the Falcons kind of fell off, right, after New England, after they choked away the 28-3 lead. New England. No, they ended up winning the Super Bowl next year, so they definitely dispelled that. The Rams ended up, I don't remember what happened the next year. I know that obviously that was the first time they got to the Super Bowl with Goff. They were still good. I don't think they were great the next year, but they were still good. The 49ers were still good after they lost to the Chiefs. The Chiefs were still good, obviously, after they lost to the... So it's kind of 50-50. The Bengals didn't quite live up to what people thought going into last year, but they were still good. It's kind of 50-50. I could definitely see the Eagles being good this year, but I just think their schedule being more challenging. They're kind of an older team, them being a year older. They've had a lot of luck in terms of the injury department in recent years. Is their offensive line going to stay completely healthy? I don't know. We'll see. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles maybe win 9 or 10 games this year and disappoint more so than people think. But it's kind of 50-50. There's plenty of teams that have lost the Super Bowl and still been, really good the next year. Let's see. Michael Sachs says the Falcons will be the Falcons. Blow the lead 28-3. But the Bengals, that's true. That's true. Anthony says, have we become a balanced pass first, run second offense with the wide receiver? I don't think the Giants have, there's certain teams where you look at them and you say, like the Chiefs. When the Chiefs play, what you're going to get. They're going to be a team that's going to throw the ball 35, 40 times. They'll use the running backs, somewhat. They'll try to get them out in space. They'll use them in the passing game. But they're going to be a team that throws the ball. With the Giants, I think the Giants are going to be a team that is going to change week to week. I don't think they're a team like last year. They didn't change week to week. Last year, they were a team, at least in the first half of the season. They knew what they were good at. They knew the deficiencies on their roster, and they were a team that ran the ball. They controlled the clock. They kept their defense fresh. That's what they did. That was their identity throughout the first half of the season. And then we started to see them start to morph into what I think they're going to be more like this year, which is more balanced, start to incorporate the pass a bit more. But I think the Giants are going to be a team week to week. They're going to be a team more so. The Giants to me are not a team offensively that has they're not incredibly talented. They're not like the Chiefs that are, they're going to just go out there and they're going to be like, I don't care what your defensive strength is. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to throw the rock. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to throw the ball 40 times. The Giants are not there yet. They don't have the offensive line yet. They don't have the weapons yet. But the Giants, I think, have graduated to a team with a quarterback second year in an offense with improved weaponry where if they go up against certain teams, they're going to go out there and they're going to play like the Chiefs. They're going to sling the rock, but they're going to be balanced. They're going to play to the deficiencies of the rosters that they're going up against. So 1 week you may get a team that's similar, in terms of play style to what we were in the first half last year when we go up against a team potentially like Dallas, who is a very good defense, a very good pass rush. We're going to try to probably be more balanced, more towards the run. But then when we go up against a team like the Cardinals the next week, I would not be surprised at all if the Giants sling the rock 35 to 40 times. So I think we've graduated to a team now that does not have to be, like we were in the first 8 to 10 games last year where we're running the ball no matter what. Like we played Houston after the bye or right before the bye. I went to the game. I don't remember. But Saquon Barkley ran the ball 35 times or whatever it was. I don't see us as that type of team now. I think we've graduated to the type of team when we play a team like Houston, we're gonna clean their clocks. We're gonna go out there, we're gonna throw the ball 35, 40 times. If Daniel Jones makes a mistake or two, oh well, we'll be able to overcome it. We got a good defense, we have explosive playmakers, we'll be able to overcome it. But I don't think we're at that level now where we're gonna go out there like the Chiefs or the Bills and we're just gonna throw the ball 40 times no matter what. I don't think that's our identity. I think we're gonna be a team that tries to pick on the deficiencies of the teams we're going up against. That's the way I see it. That's the way I see this offense being this year. Let's see. V Christian says, Chris, did you see the vid on Golladay? No. What happened? No. What happened to Kenny Golladay? I know he hasn't. I don't think he signed on with a team yet. But no, I did not hear that. And Zach Phillips says, I heard the Cowboys left tackles. I pulled it up earlier. I think he's going to play. At least that's the way it sounds. I mean, who knows? Maybe Jerry Jones is playing games. But Jerry Jones came out today and basically said he expects him to play. So, who knows? We'll see. Yeah, it was after. I thought it was after the bye. Yeah. What's going on, Sean Manning's popping in. Wink sending Simmons at Dak like a madman. Dude, we know we're going to blitz. Last year, the New York Giants blitzed nearly 40% of the time, which led the league. I think the second closest team was about 34%. We blitzed 5% more than anybody else in the league. That's what Wink does. Wink's going to blitz. You're going to live and die with the benefits and the consequences. It just is what it is. It's a live by the sword, die by the sword type of defense. He doesn't care that he's got rookie corners. We're still blitzing. There's no doubt about it. He's going to pick his spots, though, and we'll see. I'm excited to see what Wink draws up week number 1. What's up, Sean? Man, thanks for popping in. What's up, Ian? Man, thanks for popping in. What's going on there, Dante? We're going to hang out for about another 8 minutes, and then we're going to call it a stream, but I had a lot of fun. Yeah, I know Tyler Smith's, he's not your left, but I know he's the guy that's banged up. But from what I heard today, Jerry Jones said he's going to play. What's up, Stage, man? Thanks for popping in. But we'll see. We'll see if he does play. Do we get a pick week 1? Yeah, I mean, Nick, I'm probably gonna do. I'm gonna do a show with JD on Saturday. So, but I already made my pick. Somebody asked me earlier in the stream. I already made my pick. I think Giants are gonna win 24-20. I got the Giants. That's my pick. I think we're gonna win this game. I really do. What's up, Joshua? Man, thanks for popping in. Mark says, I'm good with that after too many years of bend and don't break trash defense. Yeah, well, Mark, I think they're going to implement some bend but don't break in this game. Don't expect them to just be pin our ears back and we're going to blitz every play. No, I think they're going to recognize Dallas has explosive receivers. We have rookie corners. We're going to play some zone. We're going to give up some plays underneath. It's going to happen, but they're going to try to stay strong inside the 20. But they're obviously also going to be aggressive throughout this game. Oh, you mean interceptions? What do you mean? Team interceptions? Interceptions from what do you mean? We better have more interceptions than we had last year. We only had 6 interceptions last year. It was the second worst total in the league. What's up, Q-Dog? What's up, Sean? Man, thanks for popping in. I'm hyped for Sunday. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's the game of the week. Both night games, both New York games are fantastic. You got the Jets and the Bills, and, of course, the Giants and the Cowboys. Do we pick off Dak? Yes, I think we do. I really do. I really believe we're going to pick off Dak at least once. Yes. You're talking about a guy who led the league in interceptions last year. And I do think they're going to dial it back this year. I don't think they'll be as pass happy, which will lend itself to less interceptions by Dak. But, yes, I think our interior defense, I think our defensive line, our pass rush as a whole is going to be able to create some pressure on Dak Prescott. As good as the Dallas Cowboys offensive line is, I think we will be able to create some pressure on Dak Prescott. I think Wink will dial up a play here, a play there that puts Dak in a position where he is more prone to make a turnover. And I think the Giants will capitalize on at least one of those throws. Yes, I think we will create an interception against Dak Prescott. 100%. 100%. Let's see. What do you think about the rule change this year, especially special teams? What do you mean in terms of at this point, Cold Red, if I'm the NFL, why even kick the ball off anymore? Like if you want to limit concussions, which is apparently why they do that, why even kick the ball off anymore? Like to me, the potential reward of taking, even if the kick is like a yard into the end zone, I'm telling my guys just take it to the 25-yard line. The potential reward does not. Because think about this. The probability of you getting back to the 25 on a kickoff, if you field it from within inside the red zone when you're kicking off from the 35, is at best 50-50. At best. Maybe you'll get an extra 2 or 3 yards. But when you tack on the added possibility of a penalty, whether it be a holding penalty, whether it be a block in the back, whether it be a late hit, whatever, or the potential of injury, why am I taking the ball out? So if I'm the coach of the Giants, unless the ball is a squib and I have to field it at the 10-yard line or the 5-yard line, and you feel like there's an opportunity to get it to at least the 30, I'm taking the 25-yard line every single time. The benefit does not, outweigh the risk. So, to me, at this point with the NFL, why not just get rid of the kickoffs? Why, at this point, the way it's become, why not just get rid of the kickoffs? And USA Citizen, stand up. New member, welcome to the squad, man. I appreciate it, buddy. They could, Jai, they could start at the 25. I think if I'm not mistaken, somebody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is implemented in the NFL this year. You could basically call for a fair catch, I think, anywhere on the maybe that's college. Maybe I'm confusing it with the NFL. I don't think I am. I think the rule changes. You could start with, if you call for a fair catch, you could start with it at the 25. Am I wrong on that? I don't think I'm wrong on that. I think I'm right on that. But I've not been paying that close attention to the preseason games, but I think that's the rule. Yeah, you could fair catch, and you don't even need to be inside the end zone, right? Like if the ball is kicked to like the 3, you could call for a fair catch and you start with it at the 25. So like, I don't know. Why even do the kickoffs? Why even do the kickoffs? Because before that, at least you had like the added strategy that you saw a lot of these teams try to implement, that they would try to kick it really high and the guy would have to field it at the 3, the 4, the 5-yard line, and you try to gain field position that way. If the guy tried to take, or was forced to take it out, I should say, and be tackled at the 20 or the 22, if they could just go, why even do the kickoffs anymore? Tana, who's scoring the first? Darren Waller. What's up, Anthony, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. That's true. That's true, amazing guy, because in the preseason, guys are trying to make the team, so they're taking the ball out. Most hope in maybe 20 years. So pumped this year, dude. Can't wait, man. Banks and Hawkins need to make the Dallas wide receivers pay for receptions. Not talking helmet to helmet, but hard hits. Yeah, I mean, for sure. But guys, it's 6:58. Been live for about 2 hours. I wanted to go live today, talk to you guys. I'm excited. I'll be live all week. I'm going to be live with Patricia tomorrow. I'll be live for the Thursday night game, so come by, hang out for that. I'll probably have a preview video up maybe tomorrow if I have time. If not Thursday, I will definitely have to work before I go live for the Thursday night game. And then Friday, we'll be live on Bad Dogs. Saturday, we'll be live back over here for the night before stream. I'm excited to have JD on. We've worked together before. He's a great guy. I think he does a great job on Knicks Fan TV. We're going to try to do that weekly this year. And then obviously Sunday we'll be, live for the game. So on Bad Dogs this week, back on my channel the next week. Hopefully we have a victory stream after. Appreciate all you guys, man. I'm really excited for this upcoming season. I really am. I cannot wait. What's up, Eli, man? Thanks for popping in. And Matthew Simon says, do you think NFL teams should go for 2 more? No. I get it. The analytics say, I remember Mike Tomlin tried to do that when they first instituted the 2-point rule, or maybe not when they first instituted it, but because it was instituted before that. But I remember there was a trend where analytics were saying that 2-point, if you go for 2, it's more beneficial than if you always try to kick the extra point. And I remember Tomlin would do that at the beginning of games, early in games, and he's kind of backtracked on that a bit. And you look at like what's his name, the Jaguars coach, he did it all the time with the Eagles. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. For me, no, I think it's unnecessary. I think you only go for 2 when you need to. I think a lot of times teams go for 2 when they probably shouldn't, and it's an unnecessary risk. But guys, be good. Thank you to everybody for being here. Appreciate all you guys. We're going to get this win this Sunday. I cannot wait. Let's go New York Giants. Spaghetti and meatballs and a side of garlic. Be good. You blow your good 2-yard. Yeah, that's true, too, if you overdo it. Good point. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point by you, World Heaviest Jam Band. But be good, guys. You guys have a great rest of your night. Let's go New York Giants. Bookend. Be well, man.